crew of the SS Bilgewater have seen easier waters, relentlessly pursued by a reckless fool, hounded by patrols and halted by blockades. The warm and balmy southern seas have been stained, the white and red your boats flaking paint, the black soot of burnt ships and gray scorches of gunpowder. Ink and blood. Some enemies can be escaped, but one will always remain. You can never escape the sea. Welcome to Bloodwine. Hello.
I keep getting that intro.
Hello.
Wrong. I
Ken?
keep updating
I
the
thought-
wrong one.
I thought that the intro was just broken for like a couple weeks. I thought there was specifically a problem with like a file was lost.
Oh no. It's
Oh.
been fine. There was no file lost. It's
Okay, because it's been like that for a month. I'm sorry, I would have reminded you.
Yeah, I've been updating it each and every week, but I've been updating the wrong file. So the wrong file is
Ooh.
getting automatically updated.
Oof.
My bad.
Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal.
Oh.
Hang on.
It is how it be.
Yeah, not much you can do.
Well, we all got started actually pretty bright and early.
We
Yeah.
I
did.
don't know how much preamble we've got to go. I just kind of have you guys going over land for a while. Well, oversea.
Cool.
Well, I mean, if we want a preamble, all we have to do is bring up the usual topics like Sonic or something like that, and we'll get a preamble
Sonic.
going.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah, for sure. I don't have
Something
anything
about OCs,
percolating
I don't
in
know.
my brain. Like, I don't have anything to share with you guys, unfortunately.
No,
No,
that's rare.
Yeah.
it is.
Incredibly.
So it's really up to you guys to pick up the slack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not what we do at all. We don't do the slack at all.
We can talk
No.
about Ken's haircut.
I mean, yeah, but it's a haircut, so like, there's not really much to
Well,
talk about. It got a little short on the side, a lot shorter on the
Uh-huh.
side to where it was before. Got poofy bit on the top a little bit,
Uh-huh.
not much,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Looks good.
thanks.
One time I killed a guy in a sniper fight
Oh,
in an abandoned city.
oh, no way. That's pretty
Yep.
cool.
What?
I don't know. It's
Is
not
this a
it's
metal-
not real. I just
Is it a Metal Gear reference?
see. This is why I can't pick up the slack. I get put on the spot and I tell obvious lies and
Mm.
everyone knows I'm
No.
more of a shotgun guy.
Yeah, everyone knows you would never kill a guy with a sniper. It'd have to be a
No.
shotgun.
No.
I'm-
It does
I'm a
make
little-
me-
I'm a little wobbly, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not terribly, just enough that like I don't know if I would be best for like long. This is getting. This
You don't
started as a
wanna
joke,
lie
and now it's
prone.
getting into the feasibility of.
Well, I mean, like even still, I don't think I'm that good of a shot. And if it came down to it, I would much rather have a shotgun. Sure, I might be blowing off my arm every single time I fire it, but like, it's a shotgun. I don't need to be accurate.
I mean,
True.
shotguns
just need to be
what they
close.
use for, like, what's it called? The clay pigeons. Like, you need to be somewhat accurate.
Yeah, it's somewhat accurate, but if I'm just aiming center of mass on a human body, I think I can hit it.
I recently found out that everybody in the gun community apparently is really mad about bump stocks being banned, and they're figuring out ways to do that fun technique without them. And basically, okay, so you have your handgun,
Hmm.
Okay,
and
yeah.
you put your, like, if the trigger is here, you put your finger through the trigger guard in front of it, and then fire it by pushing the gun into your finger. And what happens is, if you put just the right amount of pressure, the recoil will pull back on the trigger enough that you're immediately pushing it back, and it makes it fire really, 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 really fast. But it's a great way to blow your fingers off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that seems like the opposite of gun safety.
Yeah, no, it's the polar opposite. But you know,
It's telling that even I know that's gun safe, like bad gun
Yeah.
safety, and I've never fired a gun in my life that wasn't airsoft.
Now,
you shouldn't do that.
no, see,
Oh.
when you said that, I heard bum stock, and I was like,
Oh,
I was just thinking, like, are people using like Was it a thing before where people weren't allowed to use other people's bums as a stock? I kind
No.
of...
That makes me think of like the titty mouse pads, but it's a bum
Yeah.
stock.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
That's exactly
The-
what I had in my head. I'm like, it seemed like improper gun safety to begin with on that one. I don't realize why they had to like talk about it or why gun owners are so upset about it.
See, that's a common misconception. A butt stock, or a bum stock rather, is actually where you have a stock that has a built-in toilet paper holder, so that when you take your bathroom into an AR-15 to protect you from trans people,
Okay.
take your AR-15 into the bathroom, then you can just
So
kind
it's-
of get the toilet paper all in one go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
gotcha.
shotguns where you can like put the extra shells on like the side of the gun out in the open in
Yeah.
action movies.
But
It
it's
looks
just
badass.
a roll of toilet paper.
It's a
I
roll of
like it.
toilet
Yeah,
paper.
it's like a separate area in the back that's just like
Yeah.
freewheeling.
Yeah.
So like, just like when you're trying to be a badass cowboy and you spin the revolver barrel, you do the same thing. You go,
Yeah.
and then you shoot a shotgun while the toilet papers go.
Yeah.
Okay, we should probably play this game.
A quick question.
Uh-huh.
So you know how like you can get like an ergonomic mouse pad,
Yeah.
and like those titty mouse pads like pretend to be ergonomic? Are they
Yeah.
actually ergonomic, or like are they just pretending to be?
You
It's
know,
the
I've
worst
never
part.
actually looked into it.
They are.
They are?
They
Yeah,
are?
okay.
They're cozy.
Okay.
It's just like the body pillows are actually a really good pillow to like put in your midsection to support your hip in a bed.
Yeah, body
Yeah.
pillows are good for pregnant women.
Yeah. And they're just good in general.
Also, wife.
Man,
my
they
wife.
pick the worst character for these
Yeah.
things.
You're also
Um,
able to get waifus, and that's just great.
I just want a titty mouse pad that's Snape. You know?
I guarantee you that exists. Like I'm
It wouldn't
looking
be.
at it.
Well, it might be a titty mouse pad. More than likely, it's a booty mouse pad because those also
Sure.
exist.
Like I'm looking at Sans Undertale right now. There's one of Godzilla. And here's All Might, but when he's small, so he's Small Might. That one doesn't make like a lot of sense to me.
No, it's you would want All Might with the big badonkers being like
Yeah.
full might, you know?
You would think, wouldn't you? Oh, and here's Herobrine. So there's probably all of them, I bet.
I think
Big
this is a
titty.
sign that we need to get out of the internet. Just directly out of the internet.
It's just unplug. Yeah,
Like
you're probably right.
try and stabilize ourselves, gyro stabilize, and then swim towards the light.
Yeah,
I do like the Godzilla one. I think that one's my favorite.
it's pretty good. Godzilla's
I have elected not to see these until stream is over because I know that if I jump in, we're gonna get derailed for even longer.
yeah.
Fair enough.
The Godzilla one is pretty quality. I do
Yeah.
like
Pretty
the
good.
Godzilla one.
Someone put a lot of
Well,
people put work into these.
Now
is
you've
my point.
enticed me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I expected. That's what I expected. That's all stuff that I expected.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Maybe-
You've been ruined by the internet.
Yeah, maybe I should bring this up at my appointment tomorrow.
I need to go see a therapist about a mouse.
So, what do you guys remember from last session?
We smoked a bitch.
We did.
Right.
Yeah, we killed Rooker Mariner. And I can't remember his actual name because it wasn't worth remembering.
Poor guy. He didn't have an
Some
actual
guy.
name for a long time.
Yeah, he was that asshole that we met from the Rookery. Like, we just called him Rooker Mariner. We could be wrong on that one.
Yeah. Poor guy made the mistake of like. There's a lot of people out there who are paranoid. There's a lot of people out there that have never had to be afraid in their life. And, like, he kind of was at the exact intersection where for the first time in our lives, we were very paranoid.
Mm.
And we kind of reacted big.
Yeah, he was people at the start of COVID, like, flooding shopping centers, grabbing all the toilet paper because he thought that's what he needed. But that's not what he needed.
No.
He needed hand sanitizer, and he needed to just stay the fuck home and not flood supermarkets.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the crew of the SS Bilgewater is me and the modern day COVID with a cane, and I'm 2 seconds tops from shoving someone out of my face at any given time. That's 6 feet. I know it's 6 feet.
Exactly.
I know what 6 feet looks like.
And I have a cane with an ergonomic grip, and conveniently that's just like a pistol grip for fencing.
Mm-hmm.
But does it have a buttstock?
It doesn't have any titties on it. No.
Ah, dang.
I'm sure you could find a cane with tits on it, though.
There has to exist some sort of, like, cane that is the intersection with the anime medium, where, like, you'll be walking down the street with a cane that's supposed to be someone's dong, and, like, also you have, like, a very small body attached to it, so you're gripping roughly around here, so you still get the titties also on you.
Yeah.
Oh!
Well, it's also a point of convergent evolution, right? Because it's like how you always end up in Skyrim playing the stealth archer build. Let's just say you start from point A. You have some kind of injury, chronic illness, what have you. You start walking around with a cane, you have mobility issues. The cane is just a visual indicator, but really, mobility issues are more widespread, and you start spending a lot of time at home, which means spending more time on the internet, which means eventually by the time you're shopping for a new cane, you go, this one has anime titties on it, because you've been desensitized by internet to the anime titties.
Yeah.
And then point B, you're a weeb. Your whole life is weebery. And suddenly, you get in a car accident. And, you know, like, you spend a lot of time actually really injured and you heal, but eventually the doctor says, like, look, the car hit you in a bad way, and you're in your early 30s, and it isn't really going to heal past a certain point. Like, you've got to deal with this long term. You should really think about getting a mobility assistance device, like a cane, and you and your weeb brain go,
I've seen so many anime titty canes.
I have not. I'm having trouble here.
I don't know if I've seen any anime titty.
No, I haven't seen any anime titty canes, but I'm honestly shocked that I haven't now. I genuinely think that there should exist more anime titty canes.
well, you don't know. You don't see the hand part of the cane. You don't see what's hidden
that's
in
true.
there.
Oh.
That's true.
Oh. No.
Anyways, so it's noon. Actually, no, it's not noon. It's dinner time currently.
Right.
You are south of the Red Wine Isles. There is a smear of blood on your mast. Luckily, you can't see any of the, like, blood water sloshing because the bilge water's colored conveniently. That being said, your paint is flaking. You've agreed prior that you were going to go to Boat Town, get some fixing done. Sun's got some business to do. And there are many miles between here and there. What's the plan? Like, you guys dumped the body, you haven't anchored down, it's around dinner time. It's like 4 meters away. Being torn apart by sharks. What do you want to do?
Alright, let's
So, Rooker, how's that dinner coming along?
Yeah. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I can... What do you want? What do you want for dinner? Fuck it. Fuck this guy. What do you want for dinner?
Stew. I'm
Stew?
thinking stew.
It would be nice, yeah.
Stew would be pretty good.
Okay, speaking of stew, we should probably not stay next to this piece of body.
Probably not.
Alright, let's get going. And I start doing ship things to get the ship moving.
Alright. So it is dinner time, and you guys are starting to set sail. Why don't we pull up the map and decide where we're going from here?
I think that, yeah, we have a little bit of travel done, I think. We're currently in
Right.
Day 8.
Yeah, that's not where I remember you ditching the body. I think you did make a last bit of distance to make sure you weren't next to it then.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, in that case, a
Forgot.
little bit of a flavor retcon. There are jokes about the fact that they were just a body. Those jokes may have happened prior, but you've had a little bit of a chance to travel. By now, it is dinner time.
One last
Sorry.
call for stew.
Sorry about that. I'm dog sitting, and a dog just said hello, so I had to.
You have to say hello.
You had to.
You have to acknowledge dog when dog there.
Yeah.
If dog says hello, you must also say hello.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's the law.
It's the law.
You must. I'm also in a small apartment, so it's tough to tell if that movement is like looking at the door expectantly or moving towards a certain device for attaching a dog to the end of a thing. I can't say some words out loud.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
But that's also like where her favorite spot is too, so you have to wait till she sits down just to be like,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, she good. She good. Yeah,
She's okay.
got
She's
there.
fine.
You have like some salt pork stew. It's in like a pale sort of broth. You see bits of vegetables poking out of it. Rooker's had a bit of extra cash in recent days because of all the heists and all the other things you've been doing, so he's been able to spice up the meals a little bit with some fresh produce. Currently, you are watching for the wind. You could anchor down here. There's Imperial patrols around, and it's already getting a little late, or you could try to push a bit further. You're not far from the Hookway, one of the major like ship routes that go up towards where you're intending to go. What do you want to do?
Well, I think if we get to the Hookway, then we'll be a little less suspicious, a little less likely to be targeted by guards, you know?
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards agreeing with you there.
All right. So after hearing the consensus from people, Jane, you're sitting on edge because depending on what they say, you got to start prepping for anchoring. You got to actually throw out the anchor, let it kind of go loose, make sure it catches on the ground, and then from there, once it's got purchase, you want to slow up and make sure it's nice and sure. And then from there, you unmount the ropes. You have to tie up and like mount up the sails, tie them to the mast. It's a whole process, like setting up and taking down the ship between bouts of sailing. After listening to the consensus, you're able to start checking the wind to change your bearing. Currently, you are watching the wind go to like the northwest.
All right. We're going northwest, aren't we?
Yeah, the Hookway is a long winding path that goes around like the northeast side of the Redwine Isles.
Okay. Yeah. I guess we'd be going almost directly north then.
Okay. That would be. You make it 3.5 squares northward from here.
Over there.
You haven't you haven't caught sight of the Hookway from here. You can see some boats starting to fan out. The way that you've intersected with it, it looks like it's the last of the, what was I going to say? Like, this isn't a formal highway with buoys set up. It's just an informal trade route where ships gather, where it's like nice and clear of obstacles. They know where everyone's going. It's easy to check different checkpoints on a map or talk to other merchants. So near the end, it isn't like a highway with off ramps. Like, you really kind of just start going towards wherever you want to go. You're getting close to the edge of the stormy sea, and you can see a reasonably large fishing town on a small crag nearby. Looks, based on the silhouette, like there might be a fort there, but it's tough to tell in the dark. There are some ships moored around here. Does anybody want to roll a flavorful d6?
I'll do it.
Ooh.
I rolled a 6.
Yeah, scrape that D&D fond off the pot.
To the north, you see Thunderstrike.
Ooh.
There are a couple of masts that you make out through the clouds and through the distant northward, like Stormfront. For a second, you think that you see one ship, but then, and this isn't Croquill specifically, this is people who aren't Croquill, you would hear the thunder, but not necessarily make out the position. You see a 6-masted ship.
That's a big boy.
That is a very big boy.
Is it flying any colors?
Can't tell at night.
Oh, well.
There are other ships around us, right?
Some. It's a little sparse here.
Okay, well, you know, safety in numbers, I guess.
Yeah, when I'm playing Sea of Thieves, what I would do is I'd turn off all the lanterns and just keep moving.
Just kind of hope they don't find you.
Yeah.
I think we're fine.
All right, then we're fine.
All right. You're going on into the evening. Are you going to anchor down?
Yeah, I think we anchor down here.
Yeah.
There's safety in the
close to-
hookway, a storm up ahead. Seems terrible.
You're close to an island, so you're able to, like, throw down your anchor, and isn't long before it hits bottom with a decent bit of slack to go. You've loosened up the sails, you've kind of made some circles to find the right spot to lay anchored and to make sure it gets a nice sort of grip. From there, you tighten up the chain a little bit, you tie up the sails so that your ship can't be blown about in the night, and you turn off the lanterns because anyone sailing this late at night should be looking for you, and maybe you don't want to be found.
I mean, the number of people that we would want to find us and the number of people that we don't want to find us, it skews pretty heavily to the latter. Like, even our boss, we don't necessarily want the rookery to be screaming down our necks. Like, we'll get it. We'll get your mail when we're ready. Yeesh.
Yeah, God. We'll
Like, even the nicest visit is still, like, an unwanted email.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's work, you know? It's work.
It's work.
So, given the events of the day, you had a bit of a moving dinner, and you went on for a decently long time. Everybody's pretty exhausted going to bed. The early night goes on through the late night, which an hour, and through the twilight.
Okay.
You awaken in the same state you were when you went to bed. Moored out a little ways off from the island, a little ways off from the stormy sea. You can see that the dreadnought that you spotted is still starting to get ready. Its masts are still tied up. However, it's got enough larger, like, flags, and with a ship that big, you're able to have kind of dummy sails that don't catch the wind, but they're just there to be visible. This one seems to have, looks like Westmarch colors. There's some kind of crest, but you can't tell from this distance what city it is.
Well, better steer clear of them. Like,
Yeah,
Are they Imperial?
Westmarch, I believe, is independent from the Imperials, but still have their own shittiness to them.
Yeah, there's been difficult language because you guys have gone from seas with current empire to seas with former empire. The former empire, which is the one that went to war conveniently with the other empire and also every other government that didn't want to deal with its bullshit. They were the Empire of Prospera, and they've since dissolved. It's been about 25 years. They're 3 different kingdoms. So some people refer to them kind of offhandedly as Imperials or the Empire, just kind of referring to the fact that they might be 3 kingdoms, but they're still kind of one political reality.
Okay.
So there's only one group that are actual Imperials with a capital I, and that's the Estran Empire, which covers a lot of the west and south coast.
That they're the Imperials that you think of whenever we mention we sunk an Imperial ship. We
Right.
whenever we fucked with an Imperial, it's been them.
Yeah. And it's not that you like the people that are in these seas. It's like you like them little enough that you are fucking with the Imperials because they were the better option.
Yeah. Well, would I be able, as we're traveling for another chunk, would I be able to do a crafting roll?
Absolutely. You and Kenny are starting to get ready as Rutger's making some breakfast orders. Just like how you would at a tavern. You're not at a tavern, but you're on the Bilgewater. What do you want for breakfast?
Do we have egg?
You got eggs. You were able to pick some up.
Egg.
It's worth mentioning, Rooker only picked up a single carton, because, like, if you pick up more than one carton, they'll go bad by the time you're further up.
That's true. How about egg?
All
How
right.
about egg, Rooker?
How do you like your eggs?
Sunny side up.
Just scramble. Just scramble all of them.
We got a sunny side, we got scrambled.
Part of me wanted to be like also another option of egg, but the only one that could immediately come into my head was poached, and guaranteed Croakwill does not like poached eggs. They're runny. That is like no.
Over easy?
I could,
Over easy?
Could go for like an over easy. I bet Croakwill would just say fried.
Oh, just fried. You know how it is.
All right. So there's some time that Rooker spends frying up a bit of breakfast. I just realized my laptop was about to die if I don't plug it in.
That would be bad.
Oh.
We would
It would
have
be
to
especially
make this...
bad because, like, I have to take my headphones off to reach things far away from me. I didn't have to take my headphones off to plug in my laptop. That's pure negligence.
Yeah.
So, Rooker comes out and goes sunny side up.
And we all say yes.
Yes. That's
Rooker.
me.
Rooker pauses as everyone goes yes, and then waits for a moment, and then Jane goes, "That's me," and he puts it down. Scrambled. You hear Tiana go, "Over here."
More
Also
than one kind
scrambled.
of egg.
And
More
then
than one
Kenny
kind
goes,
of
"Over
egg.
here."
Wild.
Another scrambled egg.
It's the best. It's the best kind of egg.
Does that mean you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sunny side. No. And you hear a whoosh. He goes, right. And then you see him like lean into a barrel and start like washing off a couple of pieces of like salt pork. Salt pork comes in like a heavy brine, so you actually have to wash it off to get most of the salt so it's palatable.
Nice.
He then goes and takes off and he goes, fried egg.
I just like to keep you on your toes, you know?
Infer from context. And you hear a clink in front of you. And then you hear the distinctive whoosh of like wet and ready pork being put down on the skillet. There's a couple of NPCs still waiting. Bilgy and Rooker are still going to eat something, but everyone else has their breakfast. By now, it is... Are you guys rushing through breakfast, or are you getting stuff done sort of in the early morning?
Yeah, I'd be eating breakfast and then I'd be right back to crafting.
If like, I'm not really one to do ship stuff. I'm mostly just there for when we're moving, so if we're not immediately, like, on the go, I'd say that I'd just be eating food.
Okay. So, Sun, you make your way off to the workshop. Ken and you follow suit. Tiana's taking some time to, finish up her breakfast, sitting down if nobody else is getting off on a particular jump. Croakwill, you sit down as well as, like Rooker and Bilgy quickly wolf down a whole bunch of food, and then Rooker starts cleaning up some of the pots and pans. Tiana and Bilgy finish up their breakfast and look over at you, Jane, if you're ready to get going.
Yeah.
Right, they give a nod. And Bilgy goes, all right, we're getting moving. How you feel, Croakwill?
Pretty good. I'll go up in the sails and keep an eye on that storm once I'm done this last couple of bites.
He gives a nod. Need a moment to unfurl the sails anyhow. They all start making their way up top. It is the early morning, and the wind is moving to the west.
We're still going north, I think.
I think we would want to go northwest to dodge that dreadnought.
Yeah, I'd like to avoid that thing if at all possible.
Sure.
All right. You try to catch the wind. You dodge some of the hookway ships as you're trying to avoid the dreadnought most of all. You're able to catch a good bit of the wind, get some progress for 2 squares to the northwest before you have to slow up a bit, lower down your Genoa sail, and start to navigate through the storms proper. The dreadnought started to unfurl its sails. You got closer and could see it's another White Abbey ship. But it didn't seem to be interfering. It's more just sitting there to intimidate and watch over the seas.
Well, it's working.
Yeah, it's doing its job. I can't really say that if its purpose is to be intimidating, it's certainly not wasting taxpayer dollars on that one.
How's the crafting going?
Crafting's going good. I rolled a 30.
All right. Kenanye helps you with a 15.
15.
20 with the crafting reagents, I should say.
20.
What are you working on, and how far along is it?
We're about 20% done. The propeller props and sort of raising and lowering mechanism for the back of the ship.
So at this point, it's getting a little cramped. You have a bunch of finished parts that you have to put off to the side. Those you just needed to get constructed first and foremost. You can see Kenanye actually is working in a very dense workshop. He's just got a little lens and then some opposable pliers holding up a gear. He's trying to slowly file down to the right toothing. And then from there, he's numbering them and then putting them in individual bits, and then marking off bits on a blueprint for where he's going to put them down.
And there's sun just bang, 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 hammering out the biggest propeller.
Yeah, there's a certain contrast, but also a certain assonance to it. You're sitting there going pong, 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 trying to get the right edge off of this propeller. There's a little mini anvil that you're able to wheel out and lock into place outside of your workshop. And as you're doing that, quietly, Kenny is going.
Poor Kenny.
He seems to be almost in the zone. Loud noises, if anything, help him tune out things. By now, it is the late morning. The wind is starting to shift back towards the northwest.
All right. Are we continuing?
That's the way we want to go.
I think, yeah. Or do we want to just go straight north? What do we... No, probably northwest, eh? Yeah. Wait, would that bring us into the storms?
The storms are everywhere north, northwest, northeast of you.
Oh.
Okay, even if you move directly west, you're following kind of the storm front, you would still be dodging them.
Okay, so I guess it doesn't matter, so we're going northwest.
This particular spot is famous for them. There's cracks to the south and cracks to the north that produce a lot of fog and cloud that move over the kind of the environment. And right in the spot between the two land masses, this place is just always kind of roiling in conflict from the different fronts. As you start to follow the wind, trying to catch as much speed as you can and just kind of skirt the edges, You do have to slow up a little to catch the edges of the storm, especially because you've taken down the Genoa sail to deal with that. You make it just shy of 2 squares. 2 squares?
Was it to the
4
north
squares.
that we were going?
Northwest, I believe.
Okay. 1, 2, and 4, you said? Or 2?
2.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm...
You said 2
Let me
and
just
then you
double check
said
my mental
4,
math.
so I was like, okay.
It is just shy of 2.
Okay.
That's my mistake. That was generally me taking a second going, you guys are usually faster, and then me going, you rolled low, and you took down the sail, and it's the storm. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
now...
genuinely getting disoriented, because I'm not used to the Bilgewater being a slow ship.
Yeah. Now I'll head up with Warbles and do a little bit of scouting ahead. See what sort of pockets I can find. See if I can find ways for us to avoid the worst of the storms. Or areas where, you know, I can catch some good wind.
So, first and foremost, you're just sending Warbles up to scout, right? You're looking for just easy spots, places that Warbles feels happy flying, routes that Warbles can plot out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Want to give me a roll for that?
Alrighty. 25.
25. I was going to roll another Northwest. Do you want me to re-roll?
No, Northwest is good.
Okay. You see a couple of different routes. When you're seeing through Warbles, it's difficult. Seeing through animals is fundamentally not useful to you for anything other than magical purposes. Like, dogs have that weird vision, and also they prioritize things strangely. Animals are really, like, especially insects are disorienting to be inside of, and some things just, the way that their vision work is either way too fine, and it's, like, overwhelming from a sensory standpoint, or it's too broad, and it's just not great. With Warbles, you deal a lot with, like, the sensory processing. It's a little overwhelming because it's a lot of detail, but Warbles tries to sort of prioritize flight paths, shiny things. You've trained Warbles to be, like, looking out for colors, and Warbles doesn't realize it, but subconsciously you've influenced Warbles to be drawn to magic.
That sounds about right, yeah. Based on interactions with him. He does like Otto's head for some reason.
Well, it's just because he's a handsome little guy, ain't he?
You do spot a couple of different national ships, and some, like, non-national, just, like, colorful merchant ships. But dodging most of those, you're able to find a reasonably effective path to the northwest. You move just shy of 3 squares. By now, it's on the other map just north of you, but you're almost at Newtown, and it's just around lunch. Where are you going next? Also, what's going on in the workshop?
In the workshop, I'm gonna roll some dice.
In the workshop, Kenny is helping you real nice.
In the workshop, yeah, that is. Huh.
Do you think Newtown, like the Rookery in Newtown, would have any mail for, like, Boat Town?
It could well, yeah.
Like, because we could always stop in Newtown for lunch, grab any mail that they have.
And then
we're on our way up anyway.
Yeah.
Now that's using your noggin.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, some people need to switch to the rookery robes then for that.
I can switch to the Rookery robe.
Alright then. In the workshop, I rolled a 27.
Alright. Kenny adds a 21 to that.
21, eh?
It's wild seeing the difference in rolls because, like, I made a build for Ken and Ye from the get-go, and I made him deliberately put points into, like, social and some other stuff. Like, he's
Yeah.
a well-rounded individual, and he's, like, got healthy relationships with others.
Yeah.
He's
And
got a
then you
partner.
look over... Yeah, and then you look over at Sun, who has, like, the maximum possible roll, and it's just this, like, Unabomber fucking shed dude.
Yeah. Listen. He knows about dwarves. He knows about gun. He has 2 points in barter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you
Like,
know.
yearbook quote was like, "I don't need friends. Dwarves proved I could build them."
Exactly. He's quite strong is the other thing though. Not that having friends is bad or anything, but if he gets shot, he can probably survive that, I think.
Yeah.
You've
That's
grown
good.
tetanus resilient from all these years of handling rusty metal.
Yeah.
All
It's like
right.
a vaccine, but before vaccines are invented.
Mhm. So it's lunchtime. Are you guys going to sail off towards Newtown?
Yeah, I
think
think
I
so.
don't think that's a bad idea. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
All right. You lose a little bit of headway because you have to follow the coast while following the storm. So at some points you have to just like let down your sails and coast as the rain goes by. Nonetheless, you
And
make
as the
it.
rain goes by, water flowing under bilge.
You make your way in. I don't know how to add to that. I appreciate it, but I want to just let it be what it is.
It
You know?
is
Sure.
what it is. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful rendition.
Thank
You're
you.
like Weird Al Yankovic for
Yeah, in a
tabletop
lot of
RPGs.
ways.
So you sail in towards Newtown a little bit after the lunch hour, kind of close to the like early afternoon. A lot of people have started making their way off in various directions. There's a couple of different taverns and places to park up. There's general parking. There's the rookery parking. Where are you intending to go?
Like
Traffic
rookery
is going.
parking.
Yeah, if we're just popping in and out for like maybe some
Yeah.
grub and then like to get the mail, then we can definitely do that.
Okay. So you prioritize the rookery. Traffic's going one way, you follow it, it turns around, and then from there you're able to coast along until you find the right port. The rookery's actually kind of busy right now, but there is an open port. You actually take the last open spot. As you get over there, there's a couple of them in robes. They wave you down so you can toss down some ropes. What is the plan?
Just ask if they have any mail for Boat Town.
So they're looking around. They can't give you any mail for Boat Town, but they can set you up for a scheduled pickup in Boat Town.
To come back to Newtown with it?
Once you get to Boat Town, they would give you a location. You can do that, or you could be placed on a local delivery route for a couple of days.
We definitely don't want that.
No.
We're planning on docking and repairing, so maybe it's
Yeah.
just kind of a well.
Yeah, maybe it's just kind of a. Oh, we could do a scheduled pickup in Boat Town, but I mean, could also just show up in Boat Town and see if they have any mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's mail coming out of Boat Town.
Yeah, because like the trouble with the scheduled one, it might mean that we're not able to do the necessary repairs to the ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just
All
might
right.
not have time.
Maybe just thank them for their time and.
I'm not thanking them for
No.
shit. They didn't help us at all.
Yeah, they did. They looked. They checked for mail to see if there was any mail to Boat Town.
Well,
You can thank them if you want.
while they're doing this, can I like run and grab some food from like a market stall and then just bring that back on? Just be like, boom, got lunch. Let's go.
Yeah.
Maybe take
You
someone
see-
with me for that.
Okay, so you, Rooker, and Bilgy all
Gotcha.
like clamber down and follow the dockside for a little while.
Goodness.
You see a Torgish roast beast stall. You've seen a rotisserie chicken or like a pig roast before. Torgish style roast beast is like the same thing, but it's a whole cow.
Okay.
So, and when you get there, it's almost competitive. Like you have to bid for the cuts that are still left.
Oh, that's fun.
Give me that rump. $100 for the
Ugh.
rump.
Please don't say this. Real Rumpelstiltskin over here.
So, the butcher goes in to cut for the rump, and then like Rooker goes in and he goes, "Wait, we're together. We'll take the whole haunch, right?" He taps you on the shoulder,
Oh, yeah.
and then Bilgy chimes in and he goes, "Sweeten the deal. Can we get a discount if we take the balls?"
Croco goes, I like the way you think.
I'm gonna give Bilgy a weird look. I'm not gonna say anything.
So there's a couple of slices. You hear a couple of disappointed people. You fork over a couple of pieces. The way it comes down, is this a couple of you, like just the three of you, going to get some prime meat, or are you buying for the whole boat?
Buying for the boat.
And for the boat.
All right.
And for the boat.
So it comes down to 7 silver.
Okay. I pay it.
Are you just like ponying up for the party?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
All right. Rooker and Bilgy thank you profusely. Rooker also looks over at Bilgy as he's like packing up the balls and gives him like a little bit of a look. Not the same one that Jane gives, a very different kind of look. Like a, I can't believe you thought of the flavor profile of my stews.
Ew.
Look, I've
Okay.
had some really good pho.
Yeah.
Crowquill just kind of goes, oh, I thought it was for magic rituals.
I don't need that for that.
What?
That's true. You got your own.
Hang up. Ew.
Wait a minute.
I don't like the implication, actually.
Look, Crowquill like genuinely is like, look, there are many different ways to do magic. Some of them are weird.
Either way, you know me, I'm more of a lyrical guy.
This is true.
All right. So as you've picked that stuff up and you denied the last of the engagements, one of the rookers wants to talk to Crowquill real quick, just to check in about something. Another one asks if you want to pick up any mail. They have to have it redirected because you're out of your expected area, so they don't have it on hand, but they can like submit the right documents, and then whatever port you're heading to, you can pick up your mail there.
Sure.
Crowquill doesn't like wander off. I was like, if it's what I'm thinking about, soon.
The rooker nods and then just heads off back inside.
Boat town? We're going to boat town.
Boat down.
Boat town. When you said he was more of a lyrical guy, my mind is immediately filled with the Curtis Connor balls sound effect. Balls.
You quickly throw yourselves back onto the ship by the time it's the late afternoon after this exchange. You don't have anything else in your hold, but you've got some fresh meat.
Mhm.
Currently, the wind is going westward into the coast.
Okay, that's.
We want to go north.
Boy, here we go tacking again because Will hates us.
We don't need to go. This isn't a heading north, winds going south situation. We're just going 90 degrees. It's fine.
That
That's
sucks.
true.
So you move
Okay.
one square.
You will apologist.
You, I went to bat for you, Will, and you tell us one square.
Your Genoa sail isn't up. You're between the stormy sea and the coast. You sit there going, we're not tacking, we're going because you're Crowquill and you know sailing in terms of geometry that's been described to you.
Yeah.
So you sit there and you go, we're not tacking, we're going at a 45-degree angle against the wind, and everyone on the boat is like watching the storms move and past and roil, and they're like, "We're tacking," and Crowquill, like, "We're not tack," and then you hear the entire boat just like creak as you start to tack.
Crowquill, you silly Billy. Hey, guys, actually, OP is a silly Billy. You should do your research before you reblog.
Yeah.
How's Crafton below decks?
Crafting below decks. That depends on how good your manners are and how big your pocketbook is.
And how big your beast balls are.
Yeah, I got a 22.
And a 21 from Ken and Ye. Ken and Ye's being polite, handing you whatever tools you need, graciously asking for whatever you have on hand.
All right, that means that we're about half done.
Okay, you're at the 50% mark. What does that mean for the construction of this thing? What parts are ready and clogging up the munitions room?
All these great big propellers for sure. I feel like he has the blades, but there's not really like if he puts the blades on now, they're not going to fit through the door, sort of thing. At least not conveniently.
So like there's a whole section between like your workbench and the wall where there's a bunch of massive bladed propellers standing up, and you're hoping you don't tack against the wind too hard or they're going to come down like a guillotine.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Good stuff.
Good
Shouldn't
stuff.
you maybe like have those on the floor or?
See, this is why I don't let Jane in my workshop.
All right. I mean, if
You're
you get decapitated, I'm not helping you.
Don't worry, I wouldn't expect. I don't know if there's much you could do.
So Jane, you're above decks and you hear a metallic clinking near both sides of the boat by like the steering column. At the same time, son, you hear a clinking somewhere in your workshop as the apparatus is doing something.
Okay, is it supposed to do that, Count on Yang?
Kennedy looks up and you watch as like there's a little board of metal that's got like a little hinge on it that goes clunk 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 and just kind of secures the propeller blades so they don't fall over.
Oh, well, that's mighty kind of you. Thanks. Does the apparatus have a name or?
Kennedy kind of shrugs.
Aspen? No. Okay, well, I'll come back to that, but thank you.
The wind shifts one more time. It starts to pull off long enough for you to pull away, and then it goes right back to the west.
Okay. Were we able to get where we need to be? Northwise, I mean?
You're haltingly making your way past different fishing villages. You make your way 2 squares. By now, it's getting close to dinner again. Does anybody want to roll a fateful d6?
Oh, pick me! Pick me! Pick me! Pick me! Pick me! That's a 5!
Yay!
That's pretty
5.
good, I think. For me, at least.
As you're following the wind, you're kind of like trapped. You see that there's a really difficult turn you could make to end up on the outside of the small island you can see on the map to the north of you, or you could end up in that channel. However, as you're scoping this out and starting to look, you can see that there's 2 boats, like single-masted pirate ships in the channel, and 3 that are ducking their way through the storms.
Oh.
They seem to be scoping you out as you make this decision.
Oh, they do not want to do this.
Should we fight them?
Well, now hang on. We no need to just jump to conclusions. They're probably just making sure that we're safe in the storm. And...
If they're blocking the channel, they do not want to know how we get through blockades.
Well, let's cross that bridge when we get to it, right?
Should we fight them or should we go around?
I mean, our Genoa sail is down, so we're not as fast. So I doubt we'd be able to outrun necessarily.
Mm.
Should we
But
just
you
go
can do
around?
something. You can do something that rhymes with outrun.
Oh, God.
God.
Mm-hmm.
That is the way that we roll sometimes.
Yeah.
That is sort of our strategy in a not so subtle sense.
Well, in the world of like flag symbols between boats, is there a flag symbol for you do not want to do this?
Yes.
Well, it's
Can
funny
we do
you
like
mention
that
that.
and like
There is a really, really famous, extremely famous flag that says that, and it's called a pirate flag, and they're flying it.
Oh, all right.
It is the Jolly Roger, as they say, and they've already selected it. So, like, you could basically go up there and swap to the Jolly Roger just to be like, "Oh, you want to go?"
but we don't actually.
we don't
is
switch
the thing.
flags, all right? No, no, no.
Yeah. Maybe we should just go around. I don't know.
Well,
I'll leave it up to you guys.
I mean, the correct answer is to go around. These guys aren't these guys aren't really hurting
But
nobody.
there's 2 in the channel and 3 in the storm. So no matter what, we're heading towards them.
Oh wait,
Unless-
are the 3 in the storm? Those are also pirate ships.
Mm-hmm. There's
we
5
should
total.
probably fight into the channel then, eh?
Yeah, like if we go into the channel, we have to face 2. We'll have less room to maneuver, but we'll massively outgun them. And they
Are
won't...
you, by chance, are you waiting for a deciding factor?
Nah, I think
we're gonna go with the 2. I think.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
like once we're behind that island, the 3 ships that are in the storm won't be expecting us to get to the other side because there's 2 pirate ships in the channel. So we'll just go through them and be on the other side.
As you start to angle your way into the channel, you feel the wind shift. It starts to go towards the southeast. You have to switch over your sails to point in the other direction. There's kind of like a wind channel that goes from the isle towards the coast that you've cut through, and suddenly there's a lurch. At this lurch, the pirate ships start to turn, tighten up their sails and engage. They're slow but highly maneuverable. They can turn on a dime, but if you're going just bull run, you can go faster than them. Even without your Genoa sail, you have 1 more sail than they do. And when it comes to ships, sails, you need more sails to push a heavier ship, but once a heavier ship's moving, it's moving, so it kind of evens out.
Salesman.
All right. Sails matter on a boat. Who would have thought?
I'm gonna shoot. In Jane classic style, I'm gonna shoot the driver as soon as they're in range.
I'm gonna boon you on that one.
All right. Well,
In true Croquill style, I want to see that head explode like a melon.
While you 2 are doing that, I'm hooking up Otto to the engine, giving him power, using up one of them crystals.
Yeah, I'll also hook up to with the scope and everything. Get all that set up, you know.
And then so I'm getting people set up with power from the engine.
Okay, so all of you are getting into place. The first thing that happens, Jane, you make your way up to one of the cover sides. You have to pick a cover. There's 2 ships. They are identical. They're going for a pincer flank.
One on the right side.
All right, on the right. So you go to the right side. You start to put down your crossbow. You open up the port. You can see with a clunk. Where's the engine? Is it already installed?
The engine has not been installed yet. The engine is just. I feel like it doesn't quite fit in the workshop. It would be just outside, kind of so that you can run wires up through that port, like the loading hole in the deck, and then so it's kind of down in the hole, I guess.
All right, so there's a clattering noise as the cargo cover comes open. Jane, you're nearby, and you can see Sun poking out a couple of different cables. One can power up Otto, or he's giving you the power cable. It can do Otto or your weapon for the given fight, Or what you can do is you can be right next to Otto and then like coordinate with Otto, unplug, plug yours in, use the same charge. It's just once per turn you can change plugs. How do you want to do it?
I'm thinking of like, yeah, sit right next to Otto because Otto can't shoot them yet. We're still out of range.
Mhm.
So I'll sit next to Otto, shoot them from like this distance, and then once Otto is kind of within range, switch the plug back to Otto.
All right. So you plug it directly into you, and then you have a link cable you plug into Otto for the like targeting module. From there, you look through, and almost eerily, as you like sigh and heave and alter the comfort level and positioning of like the stock of your crossbow, Otto is almost mimicking those motions, going boom, even like little sighs. Through the eyepiece, you can see Otto's vision superimposing itself on the ocular here. You are at high magnitude looking at the right ship. You are looking at them well before they can see you. They're still loading up their cannons. They seem to have only one set of cannons per ship. These are actually pretty cheap looking ships.
I'm gonna relay that to the others.
Easy
no.
pickings, boys.
Oh man,
All right.
We're gonna feel bad on this one. Cannon, yay! Try and make it a fight.
So the way that these are built, these are small enough ships that there's actually a skipper who doesn't have like a wheel. The skipper actually has like a large bar that you use on like small, almost like lakeside ships. If anything, this is the biggest ship you could have one of these on. Whoever the skipper is, they have some pretty strong looking arms.
oh, well,
I'm sorry, dude, but
Not a strong head.
skull.
yeah, okay, so I'm gonna shoot that guy.
Give me the roll.
So I've been booned for that, so that's all sixes, right?
Yep.
So that's 6 times 5 is 30.
All right. Are there any bonuses, pluses to that?
So I have Arbalister, so I have max range times 2, plus 5 damage, 2d6 once per turn between normal max and max.
Which you are in.
Okay, so 2d6 in addition?
Mhm.
So plus 5 damage and then plus 2d6?
And I think all of that adds to sniper as well.
Yeah, and then sniper is plus 50 afterward.
Oh.
No.
Poor
Normal
guy.
roll. Okay, wait, so does Arbalister kick in first? Or is it the normal roll doubled, then the Arbalister, and then plus 50? Or
Everything. You know what? Just give me just do everything and then do the plus 50 at the end of it. I think that's why we tweaked the sniper benefit.
Okay, plus 50 at the end of it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I will do that. Okay.
I think there's also, we mostly talk on a different platform. We don't talk on Discord. In our personal DMs, the details for this item should probably be like reasonably high up.
Yeah.
So while this is happening, you can hear a whirring sound. You can see like there's near the front where all the like the solenoids are, there's little arcs as they start to like charge up. You can watch, even though like the crossbow bolt is usually like held back in like the grips and knocked in and laying down flat, it's slowly starting to levitate towards the middle of the solenoid.
I got 130 for that.
All right. You fire off a bolt. It whizzes through the air and embeds itself. You're aiming for a head, right?
Yeah.
There is a gash in the cheek of the sailor, big enough that the sailor loses control of the rudder, immediately thinks they've been shot in the head, but based on movement, it's not a fatal hit. You are still within sniper range as long as you're plugged in, because auto gives you that extra bonus. You're starting to get closer. The ship on the left is still holding true, while the one on the right is actually starting to air so that it goes in the path of your boat. So there's one ahead of you, one to the right, and then the 3 that were like out in the sea are kind of just trawling around, waiting to see how this first engagement goes.
Could I possibly switch and shoot the one on the left, or am I on the wrong side of the boat for that?
You're on the wrong side of the boat, but you could like pick something up, move over, and then you would fire your sniper shot in like right as you get within engagement range. You could also stay in place. You could also stay in place and start to track the ship that's listing off to the side before it leaves your sniper range.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna track the ship. I'm gonna plug auto in and then, yeah, start tracking the ship so we don't bash into it or something.
All right. So you grab the cable, you unplug it from there because you're just unplugging the ocular that comes with the power. Your crossbow loses all of that benefit. The bolt at the end stops its hovering and kind of clatters down suddenly when it's unplugged, and then Otto quickly snaps and starts aiming independently. You can see him aiming at the left side ship because it's getting closer. You are still in place, readjusting to just like manual only oculars like your crossbow, and watching as the other ship is getting closer. You don't need the enhanced portion quite yet. You still have to do a couple of little tweaks to stay there. Who are you aiming at? There's someone in the crow's nest. There's someone on each of the cannons. Currently, the what was I going to say? Odds or evens, actually?
Evens. I got a 4.
Evens. You can see that there is a sailor on the deck of that boat that's helping the one that you shot initially, who you still have eyes on, and someone else is running over to try and gain control of the rudder.
Can I shoot the guy that's running to gain control of the rudder?
Go for it.
It's like a curse. It's like the moment you touch the rudder, you just have an arrow whiz into your head.
Holy shit. Okay. I got 3 6s and a 5.
Nice.
Oh,
Didn't need a
no.
boon.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. So that's a 29 plus the 5. Am I still within sniper range? Or
Yep.
Okay. It's 134.
So
Shit, bud.
here's how it goes, right? For comfort, where's your bolt case? Like it's kind of like a quiver, but it's a little bit shorter because of for crossbow bolts. Is it like on your hip? Is it across your chest, over your shoulder? Where do you grab them?
Probably across the chest for like easier grabbing, you know?
Okay. So the way it is, you've got your like foot loader on the front. So you've got it all plugged in with auto. You've got the ocular up. You fire the first shot, take out the first guy. From there, you pause. You blink as this thing is turned off. You anchor your shoulders in your body. From there, you pause. You foot load. After the click, same hand, shtuk, like you click it up. You grab a bolt, flip it around, knock it, settle in, readjust, tweak, and right as you know how on the edge, like with the guards, there's little divots so you can lay down a firearm or a crossbow.
Yeah.
You're in one of those and you're losing the last of your mobility. And as you can feel like the core of your crossbow on a circular divot starting to hit the end and get sharper, you exhale, click, and it's the same shot as before. This time you watch as it hits center mass. You're not feeling as confident, but it's still another disabling shot as the other one goes down. From there, your crossbow goes clunk as it hits the edge of like the knocking point where you're stabilizing for the shot. So you have to pick it up and start moving. But you can see everyone on the ship, even from this distance with the naked eye, like they're getting down. They know they're being sniped at.
Nice.
You watch as their ship just kind of limply, almost raggedly, quickly loses speed as it makes these erratic, big, kind of loopy, wumpy movements in the water. The other ship is now getting close enough for everyone to see.
Nice. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Well, while that's been happening, me and Kennedy have been preparing the apparatus.
All right, what kind of shot do you have loaded, and where are you aiming?
You said this thing just had one mast.
Mhm.
So we're doing the chain one is the one. We'll just disintegrate that, eh?
All right.
Oh yeah.
So you mention like what you're aiming at. Kennedy gives you a piece of sighting information. He gives you a shoot number. So you throw a chain shot down into shoot number 3 based on where it's going, and Kennedy fires off a shot. Want to give me a roll?
I would love to.
These poor pirates. They thought they were gonna have a nice, easy day of looting and pillaging.
Yeah.
With plus 19.
With plus 19, that is a 42.
42. So this thing fires off, and you can see the mast is actually still there, but there's a massive piece of chain shot that gets tangled right at the base of the crow's nest, and whoever's in the crow's nest, like, hangs on, is about to fall off, then catches some of the mast rigging, slips, and then falls into the belly, like the deck of the boat. They're picked up by someone. As you can see, the masts are still holding, but they've lost, like, precise control over them now that they're partially disabled.
Alright, well.
I
The
think
other
we
ships-
can just go on through now.
The other ships behind are starting to pursue, but they're not as fast as you.
Bye.
Should we just move on through? Like, we could loot and pillage these guys. Maybe they have a lot of loot on them.
I mean,
I
look
doubt
at their
it.
ship. Their ship sucks. These people don't have anything to their name.
I really doubt that they have anything on them.
That's a 22. There is a grape shot that goes across kind of the top deck. Who's on deck right now?
I would be.
All right, so Croakwill, you get yanked down by Jane as both of you are near the front. Bilgee's near the back with Tiana keeping an eye on the boat and trying to maintain steering, so they're a bit further away. But there's a ripple of grape shot that makes its way up. Jane, you're pretty close to the actual, like, barrier, so you're able to pull down Croakwill, and there's a bunch of shreds that go across the...
Ugh. Oh no.
You watch as there's a single sliver from one of the, like, wooden barriers on the side that embeds itself right in the blood-stained part of your central mast.
Well,
That's
I
bad.
mean, there'll be less questions about that in the future.
Yes.
Kenan Yi is loading a second shot. What's it containing?
I feel like for shot 2, and this is on the same ship. Probably grape shot. Get these pirates really scared, you know.
Tit for tat. Kenan Yi gives you a plus 21.
All right, so that's 21 plus 21 for 42 again.
All right, the ship isn't sunk. You can see everyone diving for cover as there's a smack that goes across the more frontward part of their bow. At this point, with their mast partially snapped, having received a bit of grape shot, a bunch of people on a couple of different decks wounded, they're starting to, like, drift off to the side a little. The pirates further behind haven't been able to assess the scene, so they're starting to pull in behind you, but you're clear of your enemy and they aren't able to turn to face you. The other group are still hiding out, trying to make sure their ship doesn't tip over, trying to keep the sails, like, loosened on the edge of the boat while not being above the water line so they can be picked off. You have more or less open sailing before you. As you're settling into the channel proper, during the dinner hour or late afternoon? Do you remember?
I think it would be late afternoon because we
We left Newtown in late afternoon, so now would be like dinner hour.
Yeah.
The wind is holding consistently eastward.
Power on
Alright.
to the north.
North we go.
Yeah, I guess so.
Leave these guys in the dust.
I just threw a die. Just came right out of the dice cup.
Did it land on a 6?
It landed on, if I count that, they have to be all out of cup dice, and I don't want to have to do that and throw projectiles all over my apartment.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
Same thing with floor dice. That's my house rule. If you want to take the floor die,
I just
I'll let you
wanted,
have it.
I was curious.
has that come up on the stream before, the floor dice roll that I do?
No, because all of us are kind of used to it. It's if you use one die that falls on the floor, you have to roll all your dice on the floor. And so not many people take you up on that offer.
No.
Although I will say that if I were to drop a dice and it lands on 6, I will 100% roll the rest of my dice on the floor for the rest of the session, because that's
my
a
favorite
lucky charm right there.
Well, that's my favorite part about the rule, is that the one person who really wants it will take the deal and be quietly smug about the fact that they got to keep the floor die the rest of the session. I've had it happen before. I've had players who will go and chuck it down onto the carpet. All right. So you make it a total of, I didn't actually add that together. You make it 3 squares, just north of 3 squares. Your enemies attempting to pursue you slowly fall off, and by the time you've made it out of the channel, you've lost them.
Oh, good.
Well, good thing we're going in for repairs.
Yeah, no kidding.
I will be back in a tick.
Those poor pirates.
I was not expecting them to get a shot off on us at all.
No.
When Jane took out one of them, like, basically he dismantled the one ship, I was just like, okay, we're pretty much good at this point. Like,
Yeah, like at this juncture,
the
a lot to be
apparatus
afraid of.
is just going to absolutely destroy the other one, and we'll be through.
and we'll be fine.
It's pretty good for, like, causing chaos on at
Really
least one
fun.
ship.
Really, really fun. We could be surrounded by ships and just give Jane one ship to focus on, and that ship is going to have a horrible day.
Yeah.
That's the worst day. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the apparatus can go and destroy pretty much everything else.
Can't really be a problem if you can't steer your ship, you know?
Right?
Well, depending on where the ship is, you know,
That's true.
the other ship is like, it doesn't get rid of the cannons. Is what I'm saying. You have to then aim
Yeah.
for somebody else using the cannon.
Yeah, that checks out. You were trying to come up with a name for the apparatus earlier. How do you feel about Larry?
Larry.
Yeah,
I like Larry.
Larry is good.
Larry's Larry's a good one.
You're on mute, Will.
I said the cucumber?
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. If you like to waltz with potatoes.
Something. Quiet Christian
Produce
messaging.
aisle.
Alright, what are we doing for dinner?
I had craft dinner.
I have burgers.
I mean, I don't want to listen. I don't want to brag or nothing, but I did make honey garlic chicken, and it was
Oh.
delicious.
See, I
That's-
couldn't tell
I'm a
which
dragon.
direction that you were gonna go with that. I'm glad you went with good food, because I thought you were like, I don't want to brag, but I ate potato chips.
I microwaved half a bun with a craft with a craft cheese slice on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
So
want
I'm
to
basically a
brag,
baker.
but I don't want to brag, but I microwaved me a hungry man dinner. Yeah.
Those are nasty.
Those things are awful. They're so bad.
They're so bad. Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Although I will say, their ads used to be really fucking dumb in hindsight, but kid me was like, heh. because they were like, for real men who need real meals, get Hungry Man. I'm like, as a kid, I could easily eat 2 of those things because they were so small.
Yeah.
And so kid me was just like, hey, look at me being all adult. I eat 2 Hungry Man dinners.
A real man.
Real man.
I am a new rare gender known as the Double Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double?
I'm a double man.
Mhm.
That's surely some sort of like there's somebody out there that has a genetic condition that they could sort of colloquial refer to that.
Yeah.
I think that Reddit post was actually debunked.
It was. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going down a rabbit hole.
Did Snopes disprove that? All right.
No, the pictures were photoshopped and they were just like from some French artist that made them.
So are you guys laying down anchor and having a little bit of dinner? Or are you sailing a little late tonight?
I mean, we do have pirates chasing us.
Yeah, we should probably get out of range of the pirates.
Oh, I meant
Yeah.
maybe go find like a port to lay anchor in where the pirates won't. Like, you know.
I don't think they'll chase us that far.
Yeah, I
like-
don't think they'll chase us.
The wind is going northwest.
Oh, we need to take advantage of that.
You're also starting to break through the stormy sea. You aren't able to put on the Genoa sail right away, but like you're gonna be able to put it on like halfway through the roll.
Yeah. Northwest, northwest, northwest.
Northwest.
All right, so you make it. 2.5 squares to the northwest. You're able to pass by a couple of different ports, but as you're weighing whether or not you should stay there to dodge the pirates, you don't see them behind you, so you're able to follow on until you reach kind of a north point. Here you're at the tip of a bay as you watch the mainland start to curve eastward. Here you can see the leg breaks are behind you, and the sea ahead of you is starting to get a bit foggy. You're starting to reach a route known as the Freeway. This being the Freelands Way, just like the North Way and the Hook Way. This one goes up to the north around the crack, so it's a reliable route that dodges the crack, and then it goes up into the Void Bay area, past where Boat Town is.
I like the Freeway. Good.
There's a joke in there somewhere about avoiding the crack, but I don't know.
Look, we've literally had campaigns where we've delved straight into that crack. So,
Well,
like...
yeah, but
we've
going
never
back.
been a crew.
You can't always delve into the crack. You know?
We've never been the crew to avoid the crack. We've edged the crack.
Look,
oh man, you guys are
Quite
really
a bit.
really showing me up.
as a GM, I just want to say having an adventuring party go into the crack is something that requires at least a little bit of prep. So, like, even if you wanted to do it tonight, I would still need to be like, all right, let me think about it for 10 minutes, pretend that I need to go and take a piss, but really, like, sit in the bathroom and think about my GMing options. And then I would be properly prepped and ready for you to delve into the crack.
This is my job. You know that, right? And you're taking it from me.
I don't know why I'm always doing these jokes. I'm not even a bottom. I just feel like someone has to make the butt sex jokes.
Someone has to make the butt sex jokes, and it's not always going to be me.
Yeah.
Will
I am totally fine with starting off a butt sex joke, but I'm never one to like volleyball spike the joke down to its conclusion.
Will is a bottom ally.
Allied to
I
bottoms
stand-
everywhere.
I stand the bottoms because you got to defend the people you love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's stop talking about bottoms.
Okay.
It's evening. Are you guys anchoring down for the night?
Yeah, we should probably
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, like I guess. Yeah, okay.
All right. There's a little bit of time left in your waking hours. You've been doing a lot of sailing. What's everybody getting up to during your leisure time here on the boat in the evening?
Crafting.
crafting. Give me some rolls.
I rolled a 20.
20. Ken and Yi gives you a 24.
Ooh.
What does that put you at?
That puts us at, with that 24, that would be... that puts us at 2 gold and 89 copper.
Okay. So you've spent some time making your primary, like, flexile belt thing. You almost need, like, a gear change thing that engages when this thing goes underwater, but it's meant to, like, haul up so it doesn't provide drag. So you need to put together an elaborate gear mechanism. This involves Kenny using most of the gears that he filed and put into boxes and laying them where he wanted them for the contraption. For you, it's mostly about making sure that you have a belt that'll actually handle like an entire engine weighing down on it for a quarter second. How's that handle it? Like when it goes down into the water? How does it handle the shock?
It's probably just like a spring system, you know, like shock absorbers.
All right. So it's like right near the point where the belt would snap is the compression point of the spring, like the maximum. So it kind of, when you drop this thing down, there's a delay. It'll smack into the water and then bounce and then smack a couple more times, but then it clicks in place and the belt starts to turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have hammered out this spring. You deal a lot with the munitions and stuff like that, so this is more your field. And then you and Ken Ye are starting to calculate, like, weight tolerances, double check them, do a couple of tests on the spring mechanism. After a little while, morning comes. You sleep a little bit easier. The water has a little bit of a thin mist on it, but you're otherwise doing okay, and you can see a couple of freed ships patrolling amid a couple of other, like, sailing ships still docked up and anchored at the edge of your vision. There's a couple of nearby hamlets that have some fishing boats that are starting to trawl the seas near you. It's a little bit chillier here. What is everyone wearing?
Sun buttons up his shirt.
Crocodile just has layers upon layers upon layers of ratty clothes. No, I don't have any warm clothes or anything like that. I just have layers upon layers of clothes.
The only thing that I have written in terms of clothes is patchy brigandine.
Okay, so you, like, what was it going to say? Croakwill, you, like, have your layers tightened up in the morning as you're getting ready for the northern seas. Jane, you know, like, actually button up your leather jacket for the first time in a while. You can feel the plates underneath it. It's not all leather. There's some additional protection in there, but it's nice and warm, and it has a lot of extra weight, which makes it feel reassuring in addition to being warm. Son, you clamber on up with your shirt open. There's a breeze that comes up, makes your nipples fucking diamond hard.
Ooh.
You button it up, look down at the hatch, and descend back into the ship away from the cold.
Yes. Good workshop weather.
There ain't no heating down in that ship, so it's gonna be down. It's cold down there too.
There's the forge.
Yeah, he has got a forge.
Yeah, there's a very small, like, heating forge in the munitions section, and there's also the actual, like, galley hearth inside of the bilgewater. So it is worth saying it's a damp, humid, chilly ship. If you were to stay here on the northern seas long term, you would need, like, heavy warmth protection. But inside the ship, it's at least warm enough that you would, like, still have to keep it buttoned and maybe go, like, a little bit, but you're fine.
Maybe the pirates were trying to warn us about this.
Maybe.
They're actually just being like, wait, there's a cold front coming in.
No, don't dear. Put on a sweater.
They were just trying to be nice, just trying to warn us about the cold weather.
Yeah.
That's
I
why.
shot him in the
That's
face.
why the one skipper had such big arms from waving people down.
Oh, you're probably incredibly right.
Yeah, I think I am incredibly right on that one.
Well, speaking of the weather, the wind is going westward. Where to next?
We still need to head north and west.
Yeah, northwest. So we're gonna be going northwest probably continuously until we get there.
Probably. We basically need to go perfectly diagonal across the square.
I already had an arc called Eastbound and Down, and they had to resist the urge to call this one Westbound and Up.
Classic, westbound and up.
Because to be fair, during that arc, you went the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It would have been
Being-
thematically appropriate.
Being carried by the wind, you make it 2.5 squares to the northwest. You're able to start securing your Genoa sail and catch the wind a little better now that you're out of the stormy seas. Does anybody want to give me a flavorful D6?
I'll give you a flavorful D6.
Oh, right from Flavortown.
4.
4. You actually see a bunch of different merchant ships that are coming in fleet that are starting to join in on the... Like, they're coming in the opposite direction as you merge with the hookway, so you have to make sure not to impact them, which isn't that hard. It's just basic, like naval precautions and signaling and that kind of stuff. But you watch as you come in from the south, they come in from the other section of this called the Northway, and you're all going along the freeway up into Void Bay. The wind shifts once again. How's crafting going?
Crafting time. One last call for Bilgewater. With a 30?
A 30, and Ken and Ye... Not the best. Ken and Ye gives you a plus 20.
All right.
At this point, Croakwell has put on her rooker robes. Being like,
Right.
it's way warmer.
They kind of fit over everything else you have, so it's really easy to just take your existing warm clothes and more or less put on, like, an additional winter coat.
Yeah,
You're also, like, everyone else has some protection because you're close to the belly of the ship. You're up in the crow's nest. You're kind of windy.
it's a little snowy.
Yeah, every single time Warbles comes back from like a trip out, she like cradles Warbles to make sure he's warm.
That's what I do with my elderly family's, my family's elderly dog when she comes in after pooping.
Oh. I've met that dog, so there's something very true about the term cradle. She's so small and so decrepit.
Mm-hmm.
And decrepit is the right word.
Like, a dog's time is when a dog's time comes. And
Yeah.
sometimes dogs will get very sick very fast in a way that's sudden that you don't expect. And sometimes a dog's just old.
Yeah.
Like, so old.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're still kicking.
They're still going.
And it's like, it's kind of comforting because, like, even though you watch a dog, like, lose its senses or lose its mobility, have more difficulty moving around, they always have that same kind of personality. They have
Yeah.
the same general bearing.
Yeah.
This particular dog has really become crotchety, I think, though. She does not really care about much these days.
That's fair.
Everything's fine, don't even worry about it, but we did have the police come to our door late at the night. And
Oh, shit.
yeah, she slept through it despite there being like a loud knocking and a strobe light coming through the kitchen window to like get her attention. And then everybody in the house waking up and talking to Mr. Policeman. And this dog did not care, did not like wake up at all.
To be fair, isn't she like totally blind and half deaf?
Yes. But I
Also, to be fair, if I lived in a house with that many people and I half woke up and something was happening, and I heard people coming down the stairs to deal with it, I might just go back to bed in case they need me.
Exactly. Like, exactly. It's
You
like
know
she
where I am?
knows.
Someone's dealing with it. Like,
Yeah. She knows that if there is a legitimate problem, she is not the best equipped to handle it.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't even bark when people come home. She used to, like, bark to alert us when someone is coming home. She doesn't even bother anymore.
Eh.
She's like, yeah, he'll figure it out.
just vibing.
Yeah.
Everybody will figure out that this person's here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The wind shifts to better align with your sails as it goes northwesterly.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, Wind. Very
All
cool.
sails full.
Man.
It is the early morning as your sails are puffed up to the max. This is a little late to point this out, but you could boon the distance rolls. Or you could try to magic the wind rolls.
No,
That
no,
sounds
no.
scary.
Bilgy specifically told me I'm not allowed to magic the wind rolls. He specifically forbid me from doing that.
Yeah.
He probably would even give me a glare if I were to boon fuckery the wind rolls.
You have a moment where you ponder it, but you think better with your sailor's logic. Whether or not that's actual sailor's logic with the lore of the seas and the way that the wind ought to be, and trust in the ocean and the fear and resilience and all that stuff. Part of it is also just not wanting to get yelled at by Bilgy.
Yeah. No, like 95% of it is not wanting to get yelled at by Bilgy.
But 5%, the sea must be respected, and the it is a grand beast, and
Yeah, that 5% is, well, I don't know everything about magic.
so yeah, you think against booning the wind and speed, just going, and your brain goes, I don't want Bilgy to yell at me, and the 5% fills in all the reasons Bilgy would yell at you.
Yeah.
You don't do it. Nonetheless, though, the wind proves that sometimes it's worthwhile. It gives you 3.5 squares to the northwest. Wait. 3.5.
For a second, you're about to do it anyway, and then
4.5.
And then you
4.5.
think, no, that's what Sun would do.
Just recklessly fuse magic to something inadvertently.
Yeah, and then insist that it's not magic.
Yeah.
It is fine.
I mean, that's how
100%.
Otto came to be, let's be real here.
Yeah.
There was that bit of fuckery with Otto that, for whatever reason.
The vague indication Bilgy has given you is that if you start doing that, it's more or less like a magic fight, like the thing you had with your nemesis, except instead of this being one dude in a room full of mages, it's the sea.
Oh.
And
no.
we don't want to do that. That's how sea demons came to be.
Does somebody want to... Let me roll a die first. Somebody want to roll a fateful d6?
I guess
Can.
I'll do it, yeah. 1.
1.
The loneliest number.
Mm-hmm.
So the wind is moving to the east, or to the west, I should say, directly. Where are you heading?
Northeast, probably. We still need
Northwest,
to keep going.
rather?
Yeah, northwest.
All right, so the wind moved along with you, and then it moved away from you, but you're holding your position. You still have a decent amount of pull on the sails.
Is 0 an even or an odd number?
0 is even.
Yeah.
That's, like, it just is.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll believe you.
Well, think about it.
You can't.
I'll put it this way: there exist proofs that explain why 0 is even, and that's why I chose not to minor in pure math. Because I saw that and I went, I'm not doing anything that anyone that I tell about my life is going to consider to be useful for the world. I acknowledge why pure mathematicians exist, but I don't want to have to go to a family dinner and be like, so I've proved that math still
Is math.
is real. in a really specific way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I heard that 0 was even the last 8 months.
No, 0, like, it's, people ask this question, and it's, like, by every metric, 0's even.
Hmm.
Like, if you have 0 cookies and you divide them, everybody, you can divide it by 2 easily.
I was gonna go with like it goes odd even on an integer like
Yes,
increase,
that too.
or in the other direction. And so like above 1 is 2, which is even. Above 3 is 4, which is even. Above -1 is -2, which is even, and then between -1 and +1 is also even.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I figured it was even, but
You also
what
can't
if-
divide by 0, and I can't even. So
True. But
But
what
that
if
was
the
actually a
universe
good joke.
just like threw a curveball at us and it was actually an odd number, you know?
that would like upend
that does
our
seem
logic, and that would be great.
that does kind of seem like the kind of bullshit math would do, you know?
Yes, and the thing about math is that it doesn't throw a lot of bullshit at you. It's just the bullshit that it does throw at you, you have to understand it into not being bullshit anymore. And you
Yeah.
have to do that because the
Yeah.
universe hates you.
It's
Yeah.
bullshit until you understand it. And
Yeah.
then it's not bullshit anymore.
Speaking of bullshit, you make it 2.5 squares.
Nice.
By now, you can't quite see Boat Town. You've seen the general direction that the fog is coming off the crack, but you're way far away from the crack. You don't need to worry about that. As you're getting closer, however, you can see a tall figure off in the distance, flanked by a ship. There's a couple of flashes of cannon fire. It looks like a wounded sea demon that's fighting off an adventurer boat.
Oh. Oh, my.
Oh shit. There's activity going on here in the north. Hang on, I'm just checking where Boat Town is. Okay, we need to go northeast now. We sort of overshot it a little bit.
You say with the thing up
Yeah.
in the top left corner.
We overshot it a bit. Yeah, there we go.
So you look at your map, and you look at the sea demon, and you look back at your map, and you go, northeast!
And staying away from that shit. All right, moving on.
Moving on along.
So are you leaving the sea demon be?
I think
Yeah,
we leave a sea
dog,
demon.
we're gonna leave him be.
Like meanwhile, the sea demon is going, grabbing an adventurer boat really slowly because he's a fucking kaiju, grabs the other one, and then it's just like, now kiss. And we're just going, yeah, let's go that way. Yeah.
So you sail off as you watch a couple of chain shots like wrap around this thing's fingers as it kind of goes. You can see big like dribbles, like waterfalls of blood coming out of this thing.
Oh god, that's
It's
a lot
very-
of blood.
It's very quickly going pale and it's starting to go woozy. Like you don't have that much of an ethical line. This is more like, I don't want anything to do with that. The adventurers have got it because this thing's losing it. You watch them back up and start to circle for another pass as this thing's sort of forward and back and kind of looking at its hands.
Now,
By now it's
die.
By now it's getting close to noon.
I throw my fork at it. No.
Link.
This is why we don't do any classic adventuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Those other
wind
guys
goes
are having
directly
it, though.
eastward.
Cool. Northeast.
Yeah.
All right. You're still not quite with the wind, but you go in the other direction right as it starts to pull off in the other direction, away from the sea demon. Your sails are reasonably taut. That's... Based on the distance to Boat Town, that's enough. You're getting into Boat Town right around lunchtime, around the later part of lunchtime, almost towards when businesses are starting up again. Here
Okay.
you can see this is a large, sprawled out city. These are all new buildings. You can see based on just the color of the wood and the freshness of the cut stone that they're new. But this is a large, logistically planned out undertaking. Here you can see already they've got a couple of dry docks that are like retrofitting boats. They've got wide marinas. There's actually a couple of areas that are anchored out to nearby, just like little nubbin islands. Here, there's separate marinas that are just like holding marinas, and there's a small little tower where you can see a quartermaster directing people to different locations. There's a different place like this, extremely far away, called Long Runner Shipyard, which is built on a single pirate cove, and then it's just all like lattice work out and up. It's a big, tall, overbuilt dock. This is the same thing, but all flat. There's kind of a coast, but then it just kind of goes into the water.
Okay. Boat Town. Let's find a place where we can actually dock and do repairs and shit.
Yep,
Yeah.
that sounds good to me.
Before we go in though, Crowquill is just like, hey, everyone, I need to let you know of some stuff that's sort of come up. And, yeah, I just want to make sure everyone can hear me for this.
All right.
Is everyone here?
So you, as everyone's gathered, Kennedy just goes, one second. You all look at where Kennedy is looking. In the distance, just kind of like in that vague, hazy, colorless way that things are when they're on the edge of the horizon, there's a little flash, and you watch the sea demon go for another backwards teeter. And teeter. Ploof.
That's
Yeah.
going to be a big wave.
Damn.
Okay, we're good. Go on. Sea demon's dead.
That's definitely good. So, I got an offer from the Rookery, and I think I'm gonna take them up on it.
Oh, all right.
The offer is to do some research and development at a location on some of their stuff. I can't really go into specifics, but basically
You've been hired to do redacted with the help of redacted.
You guys know me. I'm doing magic shit for the Rookery.
All right.
When you doing that?
Yeah, is this like a 2-month sort of stint or?
It's kind of a bit more. I go into hiding, and you guys will probably never see me again.
Making your way in the world.
I don't know all the specifics. All I know is the vague location of where I'll be, and I don't even know how I'm gonna get there yet. It was just supposed to be once our business was all concluded. I was to go and join them. Once we dock, I'm going to be going to the Rookery and getting that rest of the information. But yeah, I figured no one's chasing us at the moment. For all intents and purposes, we're safe. So now would be the time for me to sort of part ways.
Cool.
Well, I can't say that I won't miss you, Crowquill, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and it sounds like a great opportunity.
I don't know who's going to go in the crow's nest. It was very funny. You were called Crowquill and you went in the crow's nest.
I'm sure you could buy another crow, or maybe just call someone Crow and have them be in the crow's nest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you're
not good at heists.
I was gonna say that it'd be not super hard to replace, but you're right. The crow name and then in the crow's nest, that's a combination that doesn't come up a lot.
And Crowquill is just more focusing on Rooker and completely ignoring Sun on this one. And it's more so it's just like, look, Rooker, I really appreciate it. You guys, you know, Jane, Tiana, you've been like sisters to me. Bilogy, you've been like a brother. Kenanye, Rooker, you've been like a father. And I'm just gonna miss all of you so much.
Yeah.
Sometimes storm clouds split and go different ways.
Man,
Yeah.
I hope you have fun doing that though. That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, so I'll probably need some help
Ooh.
gathering like some supplies beforehand, and I don't know, maybe I can get you guys a job dropping me off.
Well, I mean, we're your friends here, Croquill, and if you need a ride in a boat, that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
You have to kind of move a boat, point A to point B.
And
Yeah.
and at that one, Crowquill's just kind of like, okay, let's bring this shit into dock. Let's get this shit into
Yep.
dock.
Yep.
I'll be up in the crow's nest.
So you're right next to new boat construction. You're not far from the rookery. You're close to just like the general, like town strand, and then the far side of Boat Town is the construction section, or like the repairs section. Where to first?
I think we want to go to the repair section. That's sort of the priority of why we're here. The rookery stuff we can manage while we're repairing and upgrading, and then
Yeah. Let's get her into dry dock and see about fitting these propellers on.
All right. So you follow the port and counterport motion. There's kind of a churning along the edge as people look for places to park. The first time you come across the repairs section, there's like a couple of different inlets and you're not sure quite where to go. The second time you pass, you see there's a sign that has like a 2 on it, and you see someone go up and put a 3 as a boat is leaving. Start to pull your way in there, and you can see another flag as you go towards kind of the central section. From there, there's an open dry dock, and they start to haul you up once they throw over chains and let you affix them. There's a slow grinding as they pull your ship up with a large winch. They have a couple of different chocks, which are like these big cuts, like wood blocks that have a little bit of padding on either side, so you can kind of slide up and place yourself along them. Before too long, the bilge water has been extricated from the water, and it's sitting a couple feet higher than it usually does. From there, you're able to put out the gangplank and get onto somewhat firm shores. You're still actually kind of out on the water. This section is firmly affixed to the piers, though. It's not out on floaties the way that some of the marinas are.
Well, one thing that I want to do. Listen, I have like 9 gold, and outfitting an engine on a boat's going to be a pretty big job. I want to see if there's like a shipwright or some workers that I could hire to help sort of assemble this and to fix it all. Just make that go a little smoother.
All right, so son, you are looking for someone to help you on repairs specifically.
Yeah.
Jane?
Jane's probably just gonna work on like fixing up the paint, scrubbing off the barnacles, just general. Someone's got to do all that stuff.
All right, they just want they count your masts, and they count it out for 4 coppers per time chunk, so you can stay in the repair dock.
All right.
They don't count it for overnights. Just if you're here after dinner time, you can stay here until dawn.
Hey.
That's very nice of them.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, I wish that's how parking works, but it kind of is.
Kind of. Yeah. Some places.
Just a different time scale. The expensive part is later on. Croquill, what are you up to?
I leave the ship like not wearing my rooker robes. I have them packed sort of in a bag behind me, and I'm wandering off the ship, and I'm going to find an alleyway and sort of Superman change in the alleyway, just kind of throw the robes on and put on the mask, and then I'm gonna go to the rookery.
All right, you walk along a little ways, duck into an alley when You walk past one, Warbles does nothing. You walk past another, Warbles does nothing. Then the third one, Warbles caws, and that's one you duck into. You throw things on, and then there's another caw as you're just finishing things up, and so you quickly put on the mask and get moving. For too long, you have to ask for directions, but you end up at the rookery. People
Okay.
give you a bit of space as you sort of tap your way along the boardwalks.
Okay. Yep. As soon as we get there, I'm gonna go in and inquire about special projects.
All right, they have you waiting there a moment. After a little while, one of the senior rookers comes through and leads you in, gives you an apology, goes, "Sorry, I wasn't involved with this one. This one's a bit of a surprise to me, but, well, I guess I'm qualified. I gotta do the paperwork." Rooker Northwind. I don't think we've met.
I can't even remember. Did I come up with a rooker name?
I don't think so.
I think you just went with Crowquill.
Well, I know I gave my name as Crowquill because there was like some magic-y bullshit, but I don't know if there was. You know what? At that Crowquill like holds out a hand and is basically like Rooker Farsight.
Rooker Farsight. Nice to meet you. So, you were interested in this special project. Do you want Gabe and Chelsea to be muted for this, or do you want
No,
them
it's
to hear?
fine.
I don't think of a reason that they would have to not hear this.
Yeah. Most of it will probably end up being relayed to them anyway.
So, you're interested in the Boxworks position, you were pre-approved, and now you're willing to sign along. All right. So, according to the paperwork I have here, you're the primary employee, and then from there you have a subcontracted boat. So if you just want to get the name of the boat there, once you've got the boat, if you just want to, he gives you another clipboard. He goes, "It's a non-disclosure agreement for anybody on your host ship. You're going to need people that you want tight security clearance on to work with you as a host ship."
That won't be a problem.
All right. Lastly, this is just because I was with the boat town, actually I can't tell you what I was involved with, but it was a boat town project. And because this is, I have been led to believe from the paperwork that this is a largely new island, a new settlement.
From the sounds of it, yeah.
I would probably think of a short list of friends who could use some gigs. You might need farmers, fishers, tailors, people you can trust. Otherwise, if you take on this assignment, we're going to have to purge you of any other assignments. This is your gig now.
Yep. Yep. I think I'm ready to take that on.
Okay. In that case, he goes, clap, clap. He takes one of the clipboards away because it's all signed. He passes you another one. He goes, "I need everyone on the boat to sign this. And last but not least, since I am a official rooker, do you need to pick up any mail?"
Got anything going down south to Newtown?
Oh, I mean personal mail.
Oh, personal mail.
Like I said, this is your gig now. You can't take mail routes. You can't take deposit routes.
Yep. Nope,
it's just the island.
Yep, just the island. Okay. Well, yeah, anything... I guess I'll check.
All right. Make yourself comfortable. Just be a couple minutes. He creaks his way through. He actually opens the door right after he goes through. He goes, "Oh, did you set up anything for forwarding?"
No.
Okay, I'll double check. He closes the door. A few minutes later, he actually comes out with a stack and he goes, "Oh, well, one of the people on your boat did, I guess. All right. Just a couple of loose letters, and most of these are just for the one." He gives you a couple of, thicker envelopes and puts them down.
Who are they? I, outright ask them. It's just who are they addressed to?
That's actually an issue. We were given guidance to ambiguate these names back into two people who are both on the boat. who have co-authorization, because this is a business letter, a Jacques Cannonier and Blazing Sun. But whoever this is didn't know who these people were. We got Sun Cannoneer with a 2 E's. We got Cannoneer with 2 E's and Suns with an O. Whoever this is, they need to work on their branding. People don't know who they are.
I've been telling them that for ages. Yeah, I'll be sure that they get it though.
All right. So yeah, just bring back that NDA to us and we're good.
Yeah, all right. Pack everything up and head out. I basically pull the same thing, change in an alley, show up at the ship, back in my normal clothes.
Okay. You wait for a moment, and then Warbles gives you a caw. Pick the right spot. There's a caw. As you finish up and you start moving again, you make your way back to the dry dock, and you hear the sound of people talking, working. You're not quite sure where you're headed until you hear Bilgy go, "Croquill, you're back."
Yeah, I mean, I can't really read what's on these documents, but, there's a job in it for you.
Oh, I thought we weren't going to see you again.
Honestly, I was a little bit unsure myself. So, yeah, why don't we take the business below decks?
So you make your way on, and as you go down there, you see Rooker like quietly packing up like the blankets, and he looks over and he goes, "Oh, I guess you forgot things. I thought forgive me, I thought you were the type to just take what was in your pockets and go. You still have like a good pillow, a nice mattress. We can replace this mattress whoever comes in. This is like a nice silk sheet, and you paid for these sheets, and all of these are your stamps. Do you want your stamps back?"
Yeah, I guess, but that might not be a problem. Look, sit down, and Croquill like pulls out the paperwork, the NDAs. Like, I'll let you guys read this over, and then you can tell me what's actually in them. I got a brief explanation, but you know me.
Okay, so you guys watch as Croquill puts down like a couple of. It's like one clipboard that has a bunch of these stacked together. They're identical documents that go around to everyone. It's already counted out, so it's the right number of people on the boat. Son, you and Kennedy both watch as Croquill is like, "Yeah, I can't read this," and puts down the NDA with that wall up. And then also, there's a bunch of mislabeled envelopes that are clearly like all misspellings of your company name.
What's so hard about Kanye? All right. I guess I'll take soon. And you take Kennedy.
You guys went over to Kennedy as everyone else is looking these over. Who do we want to go through first? Sun reading a Kennedy and Son's letter, or Jane reading the NDA?
Jane reading the NDA.
Yeah.
So what this is doing is more or less telling you, like, you're going to have to halt all like non-legal enterprises. This will give you a bump to 3 silvers per person a day, plus a 2 gold a month boat upkeep stipend. You more or less have to tell people you are working for the Rookery. You have to tell them that. You have to tell them you're working at a confidential location on a confidential project in a confidential position. Anyone outside of your immediate family, if you tell them you work for the Rookery and they don't ask any further questions, you don't give them the information, but otherwise confidential. All of you are going to be uploaded. You're going to be upgraded to a diplomatic port pass.
Ooh.
You are also told in no uncertain terms that as Rookery VIP employees, you will be partially tracked, and you are highly discouraged from engaging in any The wording is very specific. Unsanctioned illegal activities.
Okay.
Okay, well, hope they don't know won't hurt them, right?
Crocal's just like, look, once I'm at the undisclosed location, you're able to do whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
That is the key part. Within this NDA it gives you the actual job position.
Hi, Maya.
In no uncertain terms, the Bilgewater is now Croquill is not the captain in any way, shape, or form. If anything, Croquill is like a noble who has a captain who has the Bilgewater. The Rookery needs you to sign off an official legal captain, though they acknowledge that small ships have their own positions, that this may not be hard, but they need someone to be called the captain, and it can't be Croquill. But, yeah, basically this is Crowquill's boat now, and Croquill belongs to the Rookery.
Well, not much has changed, I suppose. Bilge's captain, right? I mean...
When have I ever been the captain? Name one time I've been the captain.
At that, Crowquill's just like, when you were Widow Bilge, when you were Captain Bilge in the port.
What the? Cat. Might be having a brain aneurysm or something. No, remember the last time we had to give an official captain and we picked Bilge?
Is that legally binding? I don't like being in a position of authority. Mucks up my principles and self-righteousness.
Well, Rutger? It's got
I don't know how
arms.
it both works. I just cook things.
Oh, I'm not... Listen, if I'm the captain...
I could write my name down.
Yeah, I think it should be Jane. If I write it, then I'm responsible for all the illegal things you guys
At this point, almost like a deluge, Tiana, Kenny, they go Jane, and then Rooker goes, yes, Jane, and Bilge's like, Jane. I don't want it, you take it, Jane. You.
Yeah, Jane.
Fair enough.
I mean, it has to... If we're going by who would kick all of our asses, I think it's Jane.
I mean, we saw what she did with the other boat, so...
It has to be from a distance, though. I can't do close combat fighting.
Well, that's why you have the crew.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, with all that filtered through, that's the NDA and its boilerplate. Everyone has the same one. Now comes the various Kennedy and Sons letters.
I'm slicing through with my little letter opener.
So you picked Soon, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Soon?
Mm-hmm.
My name is Jeremiah D. Lipworth. I am an esteemed adventurer in the Freedlands Mountains, and after dealing with an esteemed associate of mine who is quite esteemed, I have learned that you are a provider of niche munitions. However, I have come across a quite perplexing difficulty. I have gone from town to town and inquired at multiple reputable general stores for your munitions and have not found them available. I wonder now, curiously, if you are a commissions-only gunsmith and munitionsmith, or perhaps if I have simply overlooked your available stores. Please respond to me at your earliest convenience about a location where I may purchase some Cannoneer and Soon's merchandise. Regards, Jeremiah D. Lipworth.
Yeah, this would have been a lot better if old Jerry had told us what he wanted. And we're gonna have to
you really
mail him back.
You really got to start advertising yourself as a Halloween pop-up shop. You're there for a week and then gone. You gotta get the munitions while they're there.
Look. There's a little thing that you like to call legendary products. These are the products of legends. This isn't.
Are you writing this in the letter?
just
No, I'll explain
furiously
this to Chrome
circles somewhere mentioning munitions and goes legendary.
Listen, it's now when I need my reputation to precede us, so that when we go into port and I'm trying to sell stuff, it's way easier, right? Because everybody wants them; they're extra rare. And someone kind of pauses and then says, "You know why? I was really gonna miss these chats when you left, where I explain something and you try and tear me down, and really helps me think through my life, you know."
Just making sure that you're prepared for everything, man, you know. I'm sure we can find an incredibly sassy, incredibly talented magic user at some other port to replace me.
Well, it's still the afternoon, and as you're looking over these various letters, as you're looking over these NDAs to sign, you still have work to do on your boat.
Yeah.
So what's your
Let's do
budget,
it.
all added together, and what are you looking for?
I mean,
I got 22 gold.
I have
got-
9.
I have 17 gold.
Wait, Jane has more than Crowquill?
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. I've been bankrolling a fuck ton of stuff where
Yeah.
Jane's just like, I'll pitch a gold.
Yeah.
So
Meanwhile-
it's like, yeah, I've been like, I bought shit for Sun, just not expecting any sort of repayment, just being like, oh, you need these parts? Fuck it.
Yeah.
You're all sitting there eating, like, beef stew that, like, Crowquill helped pay for.
Yeah. Now, pretty much everything I build is to keep us all alive. You know, it's not.
Yeah,
When Sun spends, he's not spending on fancy clothes
Yeah.
or nothing.
yeah, exactly. And, you know, for Jane, just, Crowquill respects Jane's frugality.
With the help of the rest of the party, you're able to put together a budget of 45 gold for upgrades.
Huh. All
50
right.
gold. 50 gold for upgrades.
50 gold. Well, let's,
Putting Sun's bartering to use.
yeah, all 2 points and 0 social. It's, I took those 2 points in the off chance that Will would let me use, like, mental barter, but that's not often the case.
No, I don't think that would ever really come up. It's like, okay.
No, it'd be more of a
The dots
budgeting
and-
thing, like a product pricing.
Yeah, I only have mental dots also in case Will makes me roll a mental munitions roll.
Like mental bartering. The only time I could think of that coming up is like, okay, so you've had a lot to eat this week and you're really trying to watch your diet, but someone just brought in a case of donuts. You roll mental bartering to eat the donuts, where you're just like, okay, so if I eat half, then I'll be fine.
Well, the wild thing to me is that that's actually kind of a reasonable choice.
Yeah.
And if anything, this is more on Gabe as son for, like, making exclusively, like, artifact items and commission items and specific purpose items and never doing more than, like, a couple of batches of saleable product. Like, the most that you've
Yeah.
ever sold has been stolen munitions.
Yeah.
Everything else is like, well, this goes on that, and this goes in the apparatus, and this is my
Yeah.
gun now,
Yeah.
and this is what I put in my gun, and that's auto.
And that's,
And
this
I'm
is
making an
auto.
engine.
Yeah. Speaking of, is there like people that are around the docks that I could hire to help install some stuff? Good old working folk, you know?
Oh, there's plenty of dock workers here, especially since you're here with all the, like, the repair shop
Yeah.
stuff. There's a couple of shipwrights who are willing to help you do major repairs. They have a
Alright.
couple of parts that they're willing to put together, retrofits and alterations.
All right, I'm going out and assembling a worthy crew.
All right, how many people are you looking for, and what do you want them to help you with?
Okay. I mean, personally, coming out of my, let's see, 3 silver a day, I will pay like 2 gold for 6 people to help me like finish this engine system.
Okay, so you're looking for, like, an installation and testing crew, basically.
Yeah, and you know, some metal workers to help me maybe if there's something that needs hammering out. But yeah, basically, like,
Okay.
listen, Son's been working with Ken and Ye on the ocean for months.
Mhm.
This is like like flying first class, but for building things. Like I'm gonna hire someone to do it.
So I'm going to fast forward to the next session. We're just going to start with all the installations changed up. Is there anything else you want to do with your ship? 6 gold out of the 50 is going to go to... Sorry, 2 gold? 6 gold?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said 2 gold for 6 people because it's 3 silver a day.
Okay. So
I
yeah,
guess it's
2 gold
adventurers
for...
pay, but yeah.
Yeah, you're getting just like standard fare dock workers. Nobody special. You're not looking for like high class artisans.
No.
They're your people.
Like, yeah, I need somebody to hold rope while, while we lower things,
Hold the flashlight, Sonny.
Yeah.
All right. So you're down to 48 gold.
I would also like to top off the fire crystals. You said I could find them pretty easily, and I have used 3 so far.
Okay, how many do you want to purchase?
Oh, just 3. Top it back up to 9.
Okay, where you are right now, you're one of the few places you can get like easily accessible fire crystals. You can get these from like Dwarf Road's End, which is ages away. You can get them from around here. They get shipped in from from kind of the Void Bay area, but this is a major trade port. Or you can get them from way within the Ring Mountains, but that's so far inland that it doesn't exist to you because you run a boat.
Yeah.
So this is basically the only place you're going to get them.
All
3
right.
fire crystals, I believe, should cost you 3 gold.
Cool. I could pay that. And I guess that's my share of the 50 gold.
All right, 45 gold. What are we picking up?
Are you using all of my 22 gold in this 50 gold?
You can take your gold out of it.
Okay. Well, yeah, we need new paint. We need to fix anything up that was broken in any fights. Remove any barnacles. I don't know if we want any upgrades or anything specifically.
Well, I mean, do they sell mounted guns? Is that a thing that we could just like install?
They, as it happens, do.
Ooh.
What type of gun are you going for? Just so I can index this properly.
Auto Mark II.
No, not Auto Mark II. I'm thinking like, because Auto's at the front of the boat. Like, I think what we need is just a small cannon at the back, just in case. Just like if we're broadsided, we can have that little extra firepower, and if we're being chased, we don't have to lug Auto all the way back there.
For 6 gold, you're able to get a mounted repeating blunderbuss on the back.
Yes.
This one is not automated. However, if you were to take the sniper mechanism, you'd have to disable major portions of it, but you could wire it back so that Auto can independently control the front and rear.
Well, I don't want to take that away from Jane, but that's up to Jane if Jane wants a repeating blunderbuss that is automated.
Blunderbuss again?
It's like a shotgun, but old and bad.
And
It's got like a trumpet front.
Yeah.
Okay. Would that be like... Is that short range?
It's mid-range. Like, it would be shelling the side of a boat if people get too close.
Did you know that on Google Images, the first image that pops up is the blunderbuss from Super Mario Wiki?
What?
Wait, Super Mario has a blunderbuss?
Mario has a gun?
I will give you exactly one guess to guess which. I'll give you a hint. Expanded, expansive Super Mario lore, and it shoots something called cannonballs that start with a K.
Is that from the RPG?
No, not the RPG. That's a good guess.
Part of me wants to say like as part of the Donkey Kong, like a King K. Rool weapon.
You got it.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Donkey
Never
Kong
go against King
does
K.
have a
Rool.
long history of having gun.
Yeah.
It does.
He has a gun. All right, so The blunderbuss would take 6 out, which I believe puts you at 39 gold. There's a repainting. The repainting and the repairs on the shielding are stuff that you guys could do yourselves while the rest of the stuff is getting done. Like the barnacle removal, I should say. The repainting is going to be dependent on what you want painted on your boat.
Are we going with the same paint job, or are we changing up the paint job?
There was some talk of adding teeth, I think.
And a dragon, I think.
Yeah,
I think the point of the ship, though, is that it's kind of generic, right? Like, we don't want to stand out too much.
Stand out a little bit.
Like, I feel like Sun is just gesturing to the other docks where I'm sure all these other boats are like...
We had a clown boat. There was a boat that was, like, their sails were like a rainbow.
I'll put it this way. There are definitely boats that you could point to go, look at them, but also these are boats that you spot from a distance and go, ah, adventurers.
True. True.
Like, what about the boat that literally had a trebuchet on it? Like, how many boats do you see that have trebuchets on it?
We're not adventurers.
We're rookers.
We're rookers.
Yeah, we're not adventurers. Well, adventurers get paid.
You had it white and red. You could do black and red.
I thought we were gonna do something with like the ocean line on that. Didn't you want like?
I think I wanted a dragon.
I mean, it's your boat, Captain. You can paint it however you want. I think a dragon would be sweet.
So current status, the boat paint all over is flecked and needs fixing, so you're going to have to pay like the 5 gold to get your boat painted no matter what. 10 gold if you want anything more advanced than just like basic color blocks. However, you have quote-unquote 2 stories. The bottom story is literally just the village. It's inhospitable, it's full of water, it's there for balancing and drainage purposes. And that's the bit that's colored red under the waterline. It's sharp, it goes deep so that you have kind of the fin and you can keep the water, but there's not really space. The actual inside belly portion is the part that's painted white, and there's like a beam that goes across. So you could have like a little dragon that coils around the beam or something like that. You could have the whole thing have like a dragon motif on it. You could paint a dragon in like the front or rear or across the whole thing. What do you want to do?
Sorry, I was reading a research paper on how a trebuchet in a boat would work.
Any luck? Is it going to work?
You would have to take... I mean, you have to take out the masts, but then you could use the mast as the arm of the trebuchet. So you'd basically have to sail there, dismantle your sails and rigging, assemble the trebuchet, and then... hopefully your target's like a city that you're putting under siege, because otherwise this is pointless. But if it is, you know, it could work. Fast way to get a trebuchet there.
Okay.
Portable trebuchet, like.
I do like the idea of. Well, I just kind of like. I want the dragon, to be like one of those Chinese dragons that like is wobbly, you know.
You want
like
Ogopogo.
Yeah.
Get the Ogopogo going.
Yeah.
Like a long sort of serpentine dragon.
Yeah. Just across the side of the boat.
Okay, what color?
So we're doing red. Are we doing black on top or white on top? My vote is black.
Black. That's scary.
Now, if we do a red dragon, that would really be like a look, you know?
Well, see, what it should be is it should be red on the half that's white, and then white on the half that's red.
So flip it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying like white on the bottom, red on the top.
Yeah.
And then have a white dragon.
No, like a dragon that's red where it's white and white where it's red.
So, like,
But
you
the
have
dragon.
pattern. I think I know what you're talking about. I'm just going to presume for a second, even though I know it's not what you mean, that it's white above and red below. And then you have this pattern of a dragon going woo 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 on either side of like the center beam, and the bits where it goes into the white portion, the dragon's red, and the bits where it goes into the red portion, the dragon's white. Is it like that,
Yeah.
or like a flip of that?
Okay, I see what you mean. I was thinking of having the dragon just solidly in the white or black section.
Okay, so like over that.
Yeah.
Hang on. I was gonna do a really good infographic in GIMP, but GIMP actually takes forever to load. But yeah, you get it.
It does, doesn't it? It just kind of sits there and looks at you, and it's like, you wanted this.
You wanted this to happen.
You sat there and clicked the button that says, "I want to edit this many pixels at once. Deal with your consequences."
You had the option between me and Paint, and you said, no, what I'm doing requires layers. Did they really though, Gabe? It says to me every day when I wake up.
Every day.
So my idea was to have, so I'm thinking like red below, black above, with a red dragon. That's what I'm thinking. But what does everybody else think?
Black
red above,
below.
black
Wait,
below.
what did you say?
I was thinking black above, red
black
below.
Above, red below, white dragon.
Okay, the following come from the NPCs. Ken and Ye 100% is ride or die with whatever it is that Sun decides on. Ken and Ye is just like, yes, that all the time. Tiana likes the idea of having red below, white above, with a red dragon, but all the wooden parts you stain dark, like almost black. And Bilgi recommends the way you have it now, except with a black dragon.
Okay. Whoa, hold the phone. Okay. What was Tiana's again?
Tiana's was red below, white above?
Mm-hmm. With a red dragon, but black stained wood parts on the boat.
Okay.
I like that.
Sorry, run that by me. So the dragon is red.
Mm-hmm.
And he's above where it's white.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
I like that with the black dragon. We'll mix those two. So black dragon, so it's red below, white above, with a black dragon and black stained...
Like black trim.
Black trim. Thoughts?
Yeah. Black dragon.
Yes.
White above.
Yes.
It's worth mentioning that for all of these, Krokel's just like, okay. Yes. Sounds
just being
good.
like, so what does a dragon look like? Remember, this ship is a long thing. The ship's a long thing, right?
Yes.
And I go up.
Dragon's going to be entirely within the white section.
Do we still have square sails?
So, when does it implant memories into people's brains of it destroying the entire, like, landscape? When does that happen?
Okay, listen. Okay, I am, like, feverishly photoshopping the Danish flag right now.
You should have gone for the Welsh.
It's the Welsh flag. I don't know. It's the flag. It's one of those flags with the dragon on it.
It's near the water. It's white people. It's dragons.
Yeah,
I think we get it.
So that was Tiana's, and then what was the last one?
So my vote is red under the water.
Yeah.
White above.
Yeah.
Black dragon entirely within the white section.
Yeah.
With black trim.
Okay. I'm telling you right now, there is like a correct answer here, and it is what you originally pitched. Looking at this mock-up here, it looks pretty kick-ass. It's like, if I can figure out the best way to send it to you guys.
Screenshot.
Yeah, I'll take a screenshot. Save as. Okay,
I just opened our Discord to Minecraft Steve. Or sorry, Herobrine boob mousepad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like.
Yeah.
See, like that
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to.
So what's posted here is black above, red below, white dragon.
Yeah, so that was no, that's the same one that I just did. Hang on. Why I swear. I'm
But
good
you
at
you
programming.
won't be able to see anything below the water line, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be well,
Yeah,
you see his little head sticking out.
it'll be ogopogoing. So it'll like yeah, you
Okay.
won't be able to see it, but there's nothing really important below that bit.
Versus that.
Okay, this next one shifted so that the dragon's all in the white, and you can see the red below. Yeah.
I can't.
That's a solution.
I can't properly like go and do this because I would mess up everyone's camera trying to get these on screen. So,
Yeah.
So I'm just like this, and just hoping that no one sends me nudes while I'm streaming.
Is that a
Do you
risk?
get a lot of nudes? Just
No, not
randomly?
really. But like,
At
Just
this
swimming
time
I
of
don't
night-
discount the possibility of it happening at some point.
Okay, what do we think?
Well, and then there's my pitch, which is half and half. He switches. It is just the Canadian flag, actually.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Sun's just standing there going, "Oh, Canada."
Yeah.
Okay, so but so I don't like him being in the red. But I am willing to say red and then black with the white dragon.
Yeah, I think the red and black with the white dragon is the best. I think that the dragon's more striking, and our ship will be so scary, everyone will fear us. And that's good, somehow.
Okay, so you're talking red below, black above, with a white dragon that's partially like... And it isn't like the one you described. It's like a long, like Chinese serpentine dragon that goes like coiling around the middle beam.
Yeah, so he's like parts of him are under the water, but it's like his head and his scary arms are above the water.
Okay.
I want everybody's vote on the dragon being partially in the water.
Crockwell says, "I'm sure it looks great."
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your input.
Tiana and Bilji are voting above the water. Rutger doesn't want to get involved. Ken and Ye is ride or die for whatever game says.
Oh, and then okay, I'll say above the water to you then.
Okay, above the water it is. So red below, black above, with a white dragon above, entirely within the black section.
Okay, worth saying, you guys have a bunch of different portholes and you have the ladder. Would you want the dragon, since it's like a serpentine Chinese dragon, to go like above a porthole, below a porthole, above, below, like that?
Yes.
Alright. Are you changing the trim, or is it still like natural wood color?
Oh, black. We're staining that stuff black.
Black.
Okay, so that'll cost you an extra 2. So I think we were at 39. 5 gold for the paint brings you down to 34. Minus 2 for the staining brings you to 32.
Okay.
You guys can get fresh sails for 2 gold. It's not
Ooh.
strictly needed. You have a couple points with their patch, but they could be bright and brilliant. Unless there's any major structural changes you want to make to the boat.
I don't think there's any structural changes we want to make to the boat.
No.
You don't want a poop deck?
No. As hilarious as it would be. Son wants to put a hammock up on the deck. Like, now that we have that like roof there, you put like a hammock kind of hanging from the beams, and you can tie it up in there so it's out of the way, but then when you want to just relax up on the sea breeze, you can have it down there. And then when he's on steering duty, he can untie his hammock and steer from the comfort of his hammock.
Sun just has like his big toe on the steering wheel.
I'm gonna veto that.
Exactly.
No hammock.
Oh man.
You do have like the extra, like just in case someone else is on the boat, hammocks. So this is one of those things where when Jane's not paying attention and doing other stuff on the boat, Sun could 100% try and set up like a below decks hammock underneath like the steering column.
I think Jane is the only person that Sun like fears physically for his life when angering. Like,
That's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Like, Sun is physically stronger than Jane.
Yeah,
is.
it's one of those situations of who
Yeah.
would win in a fight, and it's like, well, it depends. Is Sun in punching range of Jane?
yeah,
But then
like,
I would give the
imagine-
advantage to Sun.
Yeah, it all the. Sun is a very strong person, but he doesn't exactly do a lot of cardio.
If it's like Jane and Sun in a forest, I'm giving it to Jane. Jane's sneakier, longer range. Like Jane's got that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's
Yeah.
the instinct to be like, these are the situations where Sun could win, but then when I try to instantiate it, it's like, okay, forest, that's Jane. Plains, Jane. Desert, Jane.
Jane,
Yep.
Coast,
really, what
like
matters
Jane.
is distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
distance and I mean to some extent prep time.
Yeah.
Like,
But if it comes down to distance and prep time, Jane.
yeah, exactly.
Jane
It's
could
like-
sneak out far enough
Yeah,
before Sun could notice, and Sun could not sneak out anywhere without being caught.
yeah.
Jane kind of
Sun-
wins.
Jane, yes. When it comes to like killing, Jane is the killingest of us here.
The
Yeah.
only way that Sun wins is by retroactively not giving guns to Jane.
Like that, or yeah, he could make a bomb and try to blow up Jane, but he would
Like,
need
yeah,
somebody
like-
with Jane's sneaking skills to plant it. Like,
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you put them, like, Sun in grabbing distance of Jane, alright,
Yeah.
probably Sun on that one.
yeah.
yeah.
If they're right in front of each other, like within grabbing distance, probably Sun. But
Yeah.
It's,
But if there's any distance outside of his reach, fuck no.
it's like one of
Anyways,
those.
While we're
It's
in
like one of
who
those
would
people
win
that
territory.
It's one of the people that do judo, you know, and they're like, "Here, I know a specific move that'll totally take you out. I need you to punch me at this exact way at half speed."
Yeah.
That's Sun versus Jane.
yeah.
Like theoretically, yes, Sun could get the upper hand.
Well, since we're doing who would win, I feel like this is a good time to cut it. It's been a good time. Rules for this game are at bloodwine.fandom.com. You can check out this stream at twitch.tv/Croden_live, and you can check out you can check out our episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/Mr. Croden. Anything fun coming up?
Tomorrow, I think we're finally returning to Temtem. We've been away from it for a little while because we just
Nice.
haven't been able to line up schedules. But yeah, we'll be returning for that, and that's going to be great. I miss that game. I don't remember anything that's going on. I just know that I always have a blast playing it.
When did they get so
Reliable.
small? Yeah,
You shrinkied like an old man. Just
I
like
did.
Gabe over the course of a game is basically like me aging. It's just like
It's me slowly absorbing your life force.
yeah. All right, so that's gonna be it. So as always, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all your support, and see you next time. Bye bye.
So-
Bye-bye.